Monday. A number of things underway right now, including Disney's annual shareholder event. Right now, Bob Iger is actually speaking at that currently, talking about some DeSantis policies, talking about investing $17 billion into the state of Florida over the next few years, going to create a whole bunch of jobs. Disney downside ever so slightly here, but annual shareholder event underway right now. That overall is how the market is setting up as we head into the final 2 hours of the day. Full percent for the NASDAQ there. It's been the NASDAQ all day, showing relative weakness, leading us to the downside. The Dow still holding on to a slight gain there, 0.04 for the S&P. It's been kind of flip-flopping back and forth between positive and negative. Throughout the midday, 6.3% still for crude oil. What a day for not only oil, but energy stocks as a whole, individual names leading as far as gainers are concerned on this board right now. There they are. Top left for you, MRO leading the way, 9.6% for Marathon, APA 8%, Halliburton, COP even 7.9%. So the entire group outside of Valero here on a downgrade today, down 1.5%. The entire group otherwise offsetting most of otherwise a pretty red board, to be honest, including tech. Semiconductors under significant pressure here. FSLR 4%, Enphase back to the downside. It started higher on the day on a positive note, but has since gone red. Speaking of, 7.25% for Tesla now in the red in a big way. Etsy 3.7%. We'll talk about those delivery numbers that came out over the weekend. EXR there and DLR both in the real estate group under pressure after a negative note in that group today as well. There is a little bit of positivity in industrials. Lockheed Martin with another government contract coming through to the tune of a couple billion. You know, just another Monday for LMT. Consumer discretionary names back in positive territory, along with a little bit of positivity in the insurance group as far as banks and financial stocks are concerned. We'll talk AI as well. What an afternoon, what a day it's been for AI as well, back to the upside in a big way. C3 AI relatively weak, but that SoundHound, SOUN still going, BBAI still going, GGFI also still going. It's been just an absolute monster day for all things AI after 20+% to the upside on Friday for C3 AI. We good, guys? All right, we'll continue having a look at some things that are moving around. Again, Disney with the shareholder meeting moving around here this afternoon. I'll keep an eye on that. A little bit of volume, but overall it has been a bit of a non-event. A lot of people talking about Dogecoin after the logo apparently replaced the Twitter blue symbol on Twitter for a while. So Doge is a rocket ship right now to the upside because of that. So Elon being Elon, it would appear. We'll keep an eye on Disney as well coming up here. Why don't we just jump into a few things that are worth noting, guys? If we figure that out, we can get back into it. If you want to maybe bring in Neil, we'll discuss a few things that are moving around this afternoon and a few things that are going to come up, including Danielle Shea, who I'm just seeing tweeting about coming on the show in about 45 minutes. So we'll talk to Ms. Shea about Tesla deliveries. We'll talk to Ms. Shea about some bank stocks, energy names as well, all coming up before 3 o'clock. Is Randy helping Sean with Trade of the Day today? We'll get a twosome going here for Trade of the Day. Let's get into it. We'll talk what we were discussing this morning. As always, to kick things off for the afternoon, here comes Sean with a look at what he was trading this morning.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your Trade of the Day. Randy, how's it going? Good. This is Apple, not Tesla. Get out of here. All right, so Trade of the Day is brought to you by Day Trade the World. Make sure you scan that QR code below and start your prop journey today. Look, it's going to be Apple today. Apple right now moving around. Now, the point of this Trade of the Day is to be real simple, and that is that the NASDAQ today, look at this off the open, right where you get the volume, a nice spike up. We make this high. We've never really seen it again, and now you're trying to test some of these lows, making new lows as we go here. Like every time it kind of dips downward, a little bit of resistance right there, and the same resistance goes back to where we were sort of middle of the day. So let's go over to Apple and have a quick little look at what we're talking about and the trade that we made. So, hey, Sean, what's wrong with you? Were you like, you know, in a coma or something in the morning? You didn't trade Apple at all? Nah, man, we just waited very patiently until we got back in to some levels. Now that trade could have been made there, the same trade could have been made there, but we only made it right down here once we finally found a level. And this trade of the day is sort of for everybody that's in PDT or just looking for one good trade or maybe a couple more, who knows. I put on a lot of shares down here because I was just like, you know what, if I'm going to trade Apple, I don't think we're going to get back into this range today. So we got to try to find some bottoms. And in the middle of the day, when volume's pretty weak, why not take advantage when you get a little bit of a drop down and then not much is really happening in the market other than the market? So we don't have too much Fed speak or anything happening throughout the day today. So I didn't really see any reason to be sort of afraid of this trade, but we were almost stopped out. I mean, this is 164.30. I actually gave it, that's that bottom wick. So I gave it a couple more pennies lower, maybe a 20 cents, something like that range. So that's a 30 range. We were probably out if it broke 10 more cents. So again, that's our first in. Our first outs are that 15 to 20 cents. Risk to reward 1 to 1. We put on a lot of shares, so we're going to take some out. So there it starts popping up. There's the 50 period, now at 50. Remember where our long is like 31, 32. It says it at the bottom once we get off of this. But that's where we're long. And then as it starts to lift up, we just start getting some out. Now it's a very, very simple trade. This is scalping 101. What you could actually have done is get them all out there at 50. Fine. Make your 15, 20 cents go 1 to 1. That's good. But I always like to hold a little bit. So by the time we're in this range, we're out about half of our trade. Then we break back up. We take out the 200 period. Now we're at 70, you can see, off of our long 32, 33. So we're already at about 2 to 3 to 4 to 1 when it pushes to the upside there at 80, where we're making that cash on a very, very simple play. So let's review. So again, you get the NASDAQ kind of barcoding a little bit, making bottom, so we can respect that. Apple, the largest name, it's either Apple or Microsoft now in the NASDAQ, but in the S&P for sure. So you come back in. As long as the market's holding out, we can find some levels for Apple. Apple only down, 0.13. Look at the market, 0.99. That's why we prefer the long. So easy kind of, generating this trade. We get Apple because it's a long, plus we get it back at the support levels. So Apple, easy trade, easy to follow, and I hope you understand that one as it's your trade of the day.
Yeah, great move for tech, great move for Apple in general, back to the downside. Lots of two-way action today with the market starting the day, if you remember way back when, relatively strong. Then we came off significantly. That's a watch list, guys. If you haven't done so, make sure you sign up for that. Absolutely free every single day in the pre-market from us. This one still popping up in front of me here on volume scanner. Looks like it's halted again, maybe. MWG on the NYSE ARCA exchange is a 2 million share IPO that came out today. So it's been halting all over the place. Up huge for MWG. Again, a little tiny IPO again. As I mentioned, Disney having their annual shareholder event this afternoon. And apparently The Rock has made an appearance at Disney shareholder event talking about Moana and a live action version apparently that's coming. They're going to invest $17 billion in the state of Florida over the next few years, creating a whole bunch of jobs as well. So a few announcements coming through for Disney. I saw this one pop up, but not really doing anything either. Let's talk some action from this morning. Tesla was top of the list this morning after they came out with delivery numbers, not only for the quarter, but for the month as well. On Sunday this weekend, 422,000 deliveries. I mean, the big kind of question was more on the manufacturing side of things. The 18,000 number, manufactured vehicles versus delivered number, was higher than expected. A ton of analysts quick to jump on the bandwagon of, oh, they have too much inventory, guys, for Tesla. Down 7% here.
It has not been a good day for the EVs. I mean, you can go across the board. I know we're going to focus on Tesla a little bit here, but you're going to pull up a chart of NIO, you can pull up a chart of XPeng, you're going to pull up a chart of, I don't know, Lucid. Rivian's actually not that bad, but
Really?
Lucid.
I haven't looked at that.
Rivian's not that bad, in fairness. I think that's one a little better. Actually, Lucid is probably not as bad either, but Tesla, look, I like the notion of that 200 level first. I mean, we waited for like 195, but I wasn't looking to go short, so I can't sit here and say, yeah, I was going for the short in Tesla. No, went long off the 200 level. It was good, got some 01s, got some 01 halves, reloaded, then it stopped out. Did not reverse when it took out 200. And then the same thing kind of off that 195, got a couple of scalp trades out that eventually stopped out. Tried the 94 very briefly, but really it's just been trending to the downside. You've been able to pick a little bit of kernels up to make the pain not as bad. Quite frankly, fighting the trend because you pick your spots, but it has been just a rollover. And I only say Rivian's not as bad. I mean, look, 10% to the downside, Rivian's still NASDAQ. 7% to the downside. Rivian is only 2.5, and Rivian is off the lows pretty decently here. And the reason I bring that up, remember Rivian breaking out off that 14 level? Okay, so breaks out off 14, now holds 14.5 again today, actually setting itself up that it might have a chance at a bit of a break. Now the market needs to help out, I think, a little bit here, and if it gets through like 15, 20, this one is set up that it has a little bit more strength. And sometimes when a stock is this badly beaten up and getting off the lows, it's a little difficult for it to go down as much as a Tesla is. So, maybe we have a little relative strength for the time being in something like a Rivian. If it breaks 15, 20, I'll probably have a look at that in the afternoon. Maybe we catch a dip buy as well, 14.5. I wasn't nearly aggressive enough. I was waiting back, I think, at like 35 or 40 in the AM to dip buy Rivian. So I missed it by about 15 to 20 cents. But should have been looking shorts on Tesla, just listen to the market. You got to be able to reverse those really big levels. That's the thing. When 200 broke, there was a chance to reverse that from long to short. Didn't put that one on.
All right, just real quickly here, you might have seen my prices just changed there on Google. Probably not. You had to be really noticing. But we were short Google. This actually could have been the trade of the day early. Could have chose either one. Actually, maybe I should have chose Google instead of Apple because we took this one a little bit earlier. But it's the reverse, right? It's the support turned into resistance. So there it was there from Friday, the close, looking at that as resistance. So, I mean, whether or not you played it as support or resistance, I was playing it as resistance up there. And then there's the short, and it just came back in, and we really cashed out on this one here today with the last piece coming out there. And then I still had 5% left, so I was like, you know what, 5% is nothing. Let's short this again. We're still just above the 200 and VWAP everything here for Google, but I'm going to short this against 25. So we're going to see if it can come back in a little bit here on Google. But yeah, so far so good with some of these plays. But let's go back over to Brendan and talk about oil.
Let's talk oil here, still holding near day highs on the session. This was the early on this morning, OPEC Plus coming out talking about a 1.16 million barrel per day cut to production, which was unexpected to say the least, sending crude oil sharply higher to start the new week here. But it also brought the inflation conversation back to the forefront, at least in the sense that energy has been one of the ingredients in this inflation fight that has been a little sticky, as we've been saying. So if they're going to cut production, that means oil, that means gasoline prices remain high going forward. Could be a little bit of a problem here for the Fed, guys, when it comes to crude. That said, we've had decent moves. I mean, XOM's been the winner so far today, up 5.6%. MRO, another one, as we saw on the board there, almost 10% on the day.
Yeah, look, XOM, if you didn't have it at the open, I don't know if there was no other trade. I mean, we're looking for the dip buy. It kind of started to dip back in, and it's just been off to the races. I think Oxy had a better chance maybe for something to get me in, but there's your 50 period. We're kind of looking for a dip into that. You end up holding this level in the daily 114 right at that open. It goes break back out. That's the trade you need to have. Now look at it, just essentially going sideways, holding it up. The reason I bring up Occidental, not to do with Warren Buffett or anything, but a bit of a different story. Like this pulled right back in, found a bid off 65. So when I go to the daily on Oxy, obviously it's still pretty strong, up that 4.5%. It was up more. It had simply gapped a little further, so there was maybe a little bit more room for it to pull back. Were that to continue, I really like the 63 area on Oxy in the next coming days here. This is the difference between this cut and the other cuts is you're not cutting quotas. They're actually making cuts from people who are meeting the quotas, which means it's a real reduction. That's why the market is respecting it. And you saw oil, how much it moved. I think these names are a decent chance to at least bounce off the major moving averages and start a trend back into the upside. Oxy just lagging a little bit since the open, although still up 4.5%. But I had a bid I just canceled now. I just realized I was still bidding Oxy in front of 64 and never got to fill. So I just canceled that one, realizing there's no chance I'm going to get it.
All right, we just taken some more outs here on Amazon, some more outs on Google as we start to go here. So there's Amazon, nice little move to the downside. Now taking out that 50 level right now. So yeah, that's, well, I don't know if it's taking it out or not, but we're down there, 250. So again, another big trade there. We talked about this when we had Fahad on the midday show there, and I was talking about shorting shorting Amazon up there at 102. So 101.50 right now, a good move downside right here for Amazon. Let's watch out for that. And then there's the Google trade. I just took, again, we took some 10s there. We got some out at O's. We'll see if that continues to go downside or not on that one. But yeah, XOM, I mean, not XOMP, XOM was the one name that we liked for sure. And unfortunately, you know, I was just sort of saying this earlier in the day, is that if you don't take things early, then yeah, it's on you because you missed it. So there it is, upside. I was waiting for a pullback today. There really hasn't been one. So for me, I think we'll stay away a little bit from oil, but I still love the move. I still think XOM needs to be in everybody's portfolio. Good dividend, making new highs, and I like the name, and you know, maybe a little Canadian name here if you were interested in Synovus Energy as well. That was beat down a little bit, and nice move up today, up that 10%. So this is a name that you can look at as well in the oil patch. Look at this, 15 up to 19. So another big mover here, Synovus, up 9%, another one to look at.
Yeah, we're holding higher, which is key for some of these energy names as well in the energy market overall today. Not to be said, unfortunately, for Intel, right back to basically flat on the session, just 0.12. We're right back to where we started or ended the day on Friday. Did try initially this morning. This was part of the reason the overall market kind of rolled over about 10, 11 o'clock this morning, is because some of these chips gave up on early rallies. A few things that we were discussing this morning. Bernstein with an upgrade on Intel after a huge week last week. NVIDIA, yeah, continues to march higher. What a year this thing has had if you go all the way back to January 1st. And then this was late on Friday. Micron downside a little bit initially, but Micron down on this note from China saying they're launching a cybersecurity review of products in that country. I'm going to get to Intel a quick second, but just for those, a lot of people are asking about that MWG. What do we think of it? It's actually restricted in our system, so we can't trade it today.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it just opened back up after a halt from what I can see here, but no, sorry, it is still halted as a matter of fact, but we can't trade that one today. So I know I can pull it up there every now and then and maybe talk about it, but we actually can't trade this one, which it'll happen for risk purposes and for some other, sometimes there can be other reasons why we can't. Some of the ADRs, sometimes we can't trade in those. I can put a request in to see, but I have no guarantee that I'll be able to trade this afternoon. Intel, frustrating. I was up early on it, then gave it back in the middle of the day, as you probably can figure out, because it pulled back. And it's still in the midst of what I think is a decent breakout, breaking the 50 a while ago, then the 200 period, but it just did not carry through today. And I didn't have it the early break. I had the consolidation higher and was able to get like 33.20 up into the 40s and 50s. And that should have just been it. Like, it rejected 50 and just climbed down. I tried a couple of scalp trades, in and out 5 cents, in and out 5 cents. Tried this little bounce, it bounced a little bit, then took a hit off the low of the day. Not a heck of a lot going on with Intel, except I would say 32.5 has held up pretty decently. I think that can be a bit of a level this afternoon. I'll probably have a quick look. If we do dip down into it, I will have a bid likely at that like 53 to 55 range in front of 32.50. I still am looking for the longs, as long as it can hold up that 32 support and hold that 50 period to 200, breaking both. 32 was a great long last week. A little bit higher, but not as much strength or follow through. And then in NVIDIA, we had the NVIDIA short early on. That was a good one. Reloaded, stopped out. I missed 280 by a smidgen, quite frankly, a dollop, whatever you want to call it. I forget what a dollop actually means, to be honest with you. But yeah, I missed it by about 10 cents. It flushed. Yes, it's strong, NVIDIA, but it gave up everything and then broke the low of the day. I tend to think you're probably looking for fades. I've been trying to scalp in and out of them, but the real level is if it gets back up to 276. So got a little bit impatient. I think 276 is the level. I'm just going to wait for that. The only short I still have on from this morning is a firm, obviously, as you guys can see down there. But it gave up my NVIDIA. I'm waiting for 276 to get back in again, and it's starting to get close.
All right. Yeah, I don't have anything. I mean, I wrote down here that we want to do AMD around 99. Let's have a quick look at that as I'm just getting some more out here of Google. I mean, Google just went for a nice little jog. I mean, if you guys are here, what do you guys think about this one? We have a couple new things here. Look at this. I don't know. Thanks, Fahad. He hates when I throw him under the bus for that one, but he did not make that. So I'll just clarify that right now. Yeah, look at Google right here. Nice little move to the downside. We just put this on. So that's 103.10 right now into the 80s. So that's going to be a great trade for us coming out here. Hopefully it doesn't come out. We can continue to the downside as well as our Amazon play making lows as well. But here's AMD. We wanted to, I type it in here, Sean. We wanted to look at AMD around 99. Obviously there again, like if we like shorts and we write them down on it's the same thing. It's regardless of the market, man. I mean, the short was the same way. The Intel long was the same way. Maybe we'll get to that. Well, we can get to that right now. Intel, but yeah, look at AMD, a nice fall. I just wrote down here on the sticky note that we really wanted AMD short until we broke back above $100. So that's not happening right now. And there's the short. Like I said, who cares? Don't have it. But that's a level that I would have, could have, would have, should have taken right there at 97. Nice downside. You did have some possible reload here at the 50-period moving average. And right now you're looking at AMD to the downside. So yeah, no surprise there for me that AMD's down. It was the only, on here we had Alibaba and AMD written down for shorts, so we can find out how those are doing. And then we also had Intel written down for the long, but that never got to our price, so I don't really feel too bad about that one. But there's Intel right off the open. Again, you like the long, take it early, 33 up to 33.50, but they never really got going. So potentially Intel, if the market really goes, the fact that you're only down 0.18, or sorry, up still 0.18 in a pretty bad market right now, with the NASDAQ being down 1%, AMD being down almost 3%, I could see Intel starting to get going again. So, this is a long here for the afternoon. We just got to find the right prices.
All right, I put Disney on there just on the off chance that we get an opportunity or some comments coming through from this investor day that's underway, but it's been a bit of a non-event, it would appear anyways. Downside right now, we just broke day lows and then immediately popped back above it around that 99.5 area for Disney. A ton of comments from this event so far anyways, talking about $17 billion in an investment they're going to make over the next few years into the state of Florida, creating a whole bunch of jobs. The Rock showing up at their investor event today. So a number of decent headlines, guys, but not much to do here for Disney.
The hype, maybe some kind of a bounce, like heading towards your lows when the market's trying to bounce here is not necessarily the best sign of the event, but we'll see if anything comes of it. If it gets up to 100, just alert to 100. That's already been resistance today, and it's a pretty good psychological number. We're kind of halfway there, bouncing off 99 and change. It's normally I'd say I would have looked for a flat bottom break, but with the event going on, it has to get to a really big level or just give me some kind of a catalyst. I'd say a bit of a disappointment in Nothing Burger. If you're going to look at a streamer today that showed you some signs, it's not super. It's only flat on the day, but this morning it was very impressive. That's Netflix. Netflix bounced off 340. That was afternoon support on Friday. Sorry, that was late morning support on Friday. Got back up, kind of retested the mid 340s. This feels like it wants to make that run at 350 that we've been looking for. At least I was last week. You guys know that. Maybe we're not going to see that 50 period today, but this stock is now consolidating after making another run. And it just feels like it's glued to this notion of getting toward the 350. Even on the days that the market has been weak, it's found a way to bounce off the bottoms and kind of continue that trend into the upside, as you can see. So even when there's a heavy selling in Netflix, it seems to find a way. The trend's pretty nice here today. I'd say 350 is probably short if it gets there initially, especially if it were to do it this afternoon. But this is one, I'm actually looking for the opportunity to go long on like a 346 break if the volume can pick up. But there's really not a lot of volume on Netflix today. You really want to see, if you're going to take a breakout, you want volume behind it, but it looks good, the setup.
And the only good thing about Disney, I guess, is that they're eventually going to get Avatar 2 on their streaming service, and then hopefully, yeah, exactly. That should start to spike. Well, yeah, the #1 movie there of 20, what year is this now? 2023. So
22.
It broke all the records. Like, it destroyed Top Gun, and everyone was talking about that. That was in 2 weeks. The numbers that they put out there for 2022. So I feel like that's a good possibility that you could get some nice little. And I don't think, to me as a stock, that doesn't push anything. I just think that people could start talking about it again, as it goes. So you can watch out for that coming through. For me, it's a short at $100. That's a 200 period right there is $100.65. You're well up, man. You're up about 7-8% in a week. So I could see it being a nice short here as investor day. Generally disappoint because you're waiting for something and it's like, okay, well, we don't have a whole heck of a lot to say, but we'll wait for Disney to come and see if they throw out anything. But there it is right there. There's $100 on the day. I could see that being a little bit of a top, but the market's rallying back now. So maybe the shorts are not in anymore for the rest of the day. You're above the 50 period and you're starting to go a little bit higher now. So we're going to have to look at some of these trades. It's a good thing that's why we talked about it and went sort of off script there as these markets were falling down. I mean, look where Google just went to, right back into past support. So you got to take it out when it comes back into there, right? So now the market's doing a little bit of a dance, but let's be sort of cautious of some of these positions that we have on.
Yeah, Disney was interesting in the sense that it was the first, a lot of people were writing about it, it was the first that Bob Iger was back at the helm for the actual meeting as well. So I think a few people were, or a few analysts anyways, were expecting big things to come from this, but nothing terribly exciting anyways. Here is AI. This is what happened on Friday. Just an absolute rocket ship. This thing goes from, there it is, 27, 26 and a half, all the way to 34 and a half, straight to the upside on some short talk discussion and squeeze activity. And then we get this note over the weekend suggesting that, hey, the short interest is up even more in March versus February. So a total of 24,810,000 shares versus 17.5 the month prior on the short side. And the daily chart tells the story here, guys, for AI.
So, okay, like if you were watching the midday show, I know and he was short C3AI. That position right now, Fahad, just I know you can hear me, that would be printing right now. And if anything, look, C3AI, big moonshot, squeeze, all that good stuff. SOUN probably having bigger moves. BBAI had some big moves this morning as well. But C3AI, weak for the majority of the morning, catches a bit at 32. But now if you look at things, yeah, it's having some trouble getting back up to that 35 range. So maybe it's kind of slowly running out of steam. We had talked about 35 and 40 on Friday, and then looking for a dip back into 30, which I still think is a bit of a buy on C3AI. That's what it does. It seems to find these even levels, maybe the 25 levels as well. So if that one can get down to 30, I think that's going to be a good base for like swings and bounce plays. But yeah, shorting off of this high is going to start to make some sense. I don't think you want to chase it. I think Fahad had 34.25. That's actually a pretty good price because you're giving 25 points to the 50 level. But C3I might be a little bit done. If I'm looking at one of these smaller cap names this afternoon, it's kind of a weird transition, but the last thing on our board. SOUN just made a wick high to 330. Popped the daily up, and it's not quite at what I thought 350 would be a bigger level, but it's already starting to slow down at that 3.25. So it's a pretty decent level, and the volume already, I don't want to say creeping. It's the volume on almost everything is pretty much down, so the fact that even a small cap that was running is starting to slow down as well. If it makes a run at the high of the day on no volume, then I'm just going to short into that 330 level. As a matter of fact, I mean, it's 21 now, so I'm talking like 4 or 5 cents up. Light risk to reward there. Don't want it getting through the high because I think 350 would be that next level up. But with no volume, it's hard for these runners to continue running.
Yeah, no, man. I'm just looking to make sure that we can get some decent. I don't have anything to talk about for AI. You had that GFAI, AI, good trade there coming through. I'm looking. I mean, we're going to talk about AI. We could talk about Google. I think Google is a pretty good AI name for sure. And this would be the one that I would put all my marbles in if I was playing the AI game. These guys, Meta, Microsoft, the #1 names that are out there. But hey, if you've been in AI, great job. I didn't even realize that was anywhere near $35. It was a huge move there on Friday. I didn't even notice that when Neil brought that up this morning. I was like, wow, great move there. So I like Google, man. I think Google can be one of those winners in the AI space. I mean, they've only been doing it for forever. But, we do have this nice top here of 103.70. We're going short now into this top. But again, today's been relatively uneventful with Google only being down 0.62 right now. So, it's doing better than the market, so I'm not completely in love with this, but I do think this 103.20 top here, we'll have another look at that, see if it comes into play here, but that's what I'm shorting against, so I'll continue to be short AI name, Google, but it's not against AI, it's just the fact that Google's been relatively weak against the market in this move up, so let's just see what happens right now heading into the power hour. It's only 2:30, we just took another reload here on Google, right here, right now, at 06, so it's at 09. I was waiting for a 15, I believe. Yeah, so we're waiting for 15s and then like a 20, and then we'll see if it takes out that 25. And if it does, then we're going to be out of Google. So right now, trying to work some shorts in GOOGL, NVIDIA with a 52-week high today, by the way.
Yes, it's been making a lot of those. I mean,
Yeah,
NVIDIA's just been absolutely trending. So it's at 276 right now. I got my offer at 95, I want to say. So
nice.
This is 76 on NVIDIA. You can kind of see it's given some over/under, kind of forcing the action there. Got some scalps and then loses. And here we just only took a hit at 75. But 76 has been that level at least since the open. I mean, the open at 280 would have been a great short if you got it. But I just got sound. It's not Sunrun, it's Sound. It's SoundCloud. It's SoundHound, sorry. I want to say SoundCloud, but it's SoundHound there. So 330 is the top. I don't want this going through the high. I didn't short the 20s. Waited for it to get to the mid-20s. Want the risk reward to be right there. And add one time here at 26 to get the price that I want and get the actual fulfill. And then we're just going to be out if it breaks a high that I did also just grab NVIDIA. So as the market starts to grind higher, the last of the shorting, I shouldn't say the last of the shorting opportunities, there's a few out there about to come into play, and Netflix breaking 346. So long Netflix 346 as well, but SOUN, that's off the high. Haven't reloaded on a firm yet, kind of letting that one go because I've already shorted that level a few times. And as I just mentioned, NVIDIA off that 276 just came in. Happens to be VWAP on my 3-minute chart as well.
All right, taking out some water here, and we're taking out some levels on Google. So we're now short on this name. The maximum, well, we're going to go a little bit more, but this is where we're at. So we're at this position right now, looking to see if we can just hold out. I mean, the NASDAQ is, I don't want to say it's ripping, but, you know, your rate, like I said, we're going to try to play these bottoms. We played Apple. Apple's a great trade. Apple's 70. Like, you want to talk about a trade that's in the money right now? I mean, where's my Apple short? Right here. Oops, that's the wrong chart. Look at this Apple trade right here, guys. So this is the trade of the day that we already talked about earlier, right there. And look where it's ripping up to right now, 165 and change. Apple right now, 70 cents in the money. So this is a good trade for me, nicely in the money here on Apple as it continues to make some nice moves higher here. So this is what we're looking at. Apple nicely off the bottom and starting to go. Apple, a positive name into that level, so let's see if it continues to work. All right, Google, we just got their last of the fills on Google. We talked about being short this AI name, so there it is right now, short Google against 25. If it breaks it, we're gone. Look where we're short, 15s, out 25. So hopefully it can come back in. We'll take a little profit on this one. If it does get into that level, 103, I mean, we always take a dime. So if we can get back here, I mean, the dime is right where VWAP is, so that makes sense also, but it doesn't look like we're going to get it, man. This is a pretty strong name, taking out some levels right now. So it looks like Google wants to go, and there it is right there, 103.25, getting very, very close, man. Once that goes, like Amazon, we're not going to just like keep on piling in. Although we made a lot of money back on Amazon, we're not going to keep piling into this name. If it wants to go here in power hour, heading into the 4 o'clock, heading into 3 o'clock, the 4 o'clock close, then yeah, let's stay off of Google. It has been relatively weak, but again, today 0.5 versus 0.82, it's stronger than normal. Let's see if Google can make the magic happen here and start to fall down a little bit, but it looks like it's strong, man. It's holding up pretty good, and I think the longs are a little bit more favorable right now. We're above the 50 period here on the NASDAQ and starting to go. Nevertheless, we're positive on the ES. So Google, Apple, some of these Microsoft, some of these big names that are also in the ES and heavily traded, you know, we could see these start to fly a little bit. So here goes Google right now, taking out that 103.25. We may just have to flip everything over into longs, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the only long I got on, we just put Netflix on, and you know, it started to churn through that 46. We have NVIDIA, like we mentioned. If that can't hold here, 76 VWAP, like maybe a few cents, then we'll have to get out of that. SOUN is not really, you know, like, we'll see what happens. It's that 330 high of the day. We'll just get out there. That's not really following the market per se. Intel does look like it's a decent long. It's starting to churn to the upside. It's just a matter of like, where do I want to be out of this stock? I thought this afternoon 32.50 was the out. So long at 85 doesn't really jive well with that. I should have just held on. It's one of those, should have just held on to that one when we actually had it at the bottom, but it broke the low and we got away from it. I just got out of NVIDIA, so we'll slap to fail on that. Lost about 20 pennies on that last short. Intel, if I'm picking one, I still like Intel the most just from a from a structure point as to where the stock is coming from. So I might just wait for the first dip and maybe catch it off the 70 level if we can get any kind of a dip over there in Intel. Netflix, as I mentioned, it was barcoding, right? Like it was barcoding, kind of giving you this higher low. So the only stock, I shouldn't say the only stock, one of the only stocks that was giving a nice little consolidation. Didn't think we'd see the 45s again unless the market really rolled over. So the 46 just broke. You have some overhead resistance. I'll try to take some out there. If we get the high of the day, that'd be fantastic. Oh, did we talk about Alibaba?
No, not yet.
Okay. So we talked about the Chinese EV names. Alibaba is back beneath 98. So remember the 50 period? That's right here, 97 and 30, 97.30, 97.40, something along those lines for Baba. This is a spicy meatball if it cannot break back above 98. Seriously weak name today, down 4%. Obviously, we know there's some tensions, more tensions going on U.S. and China, but Baba was one that was so strong last week and now just sort of giving it up the last couple of sessions. Big level. If it holds the 50 period on the daily, it's got a lot of room into 100 there. So looking for a test of that, which also happens to be Wednesday's nice little support before it rallied like $5 off the bottom. So look out for that 97. If we get it, I want to try to take the long off of that, but could always be a breakdown. Just careful with those Chinese ADRs. They don't always have a ton of volume, so wait for your price level. Only trade off that. You don't want to force the trade in one of those.
All right, so I was like, why can't I get more shares? Like, I don't know, I'm punching it. So we got out of Google. Obviously, we'll do this one because it's everybody's favorite, apparently.
Is it, though?
I don't know. I'll have to find out for the chat. All right, so we are back into now the long in Intel. We just talked about that. I think you got some decent levels here, including this 80 level, looking to break it. I mean, this might not be for a very long time. We'll see how how Amazon wants to how Intel. I mean, Amazon. We just got more short in Amazon. We'll get stopped out of that if it takes. I feel like the long is coming through now. So we're very, very light on Amazon. We just took another fill, but it's not going to be for very long. Taking down 102, we are out of this. We said that it looked like, remember I was talking about once the levels start to switch over there, and now you're starting to take out some pretty decent levels right now on the NASDAQ. We made these bottoms. We're still now $1 in the money on that Apple trade of the day. But yeah, we've been fighting some of these shorts, and it doesn't look like we're going to win. You fought the law and the law one. Yeah, I'm fighting the short and the long one right now. So that's starting to go to the upside here. So yeah, be careful with everything that we're trying to do now. But Intel, we have a long at 84. We don't have as many shares as we want to. We're going to see if we can get a little bit more here. Maybe I have to pay 85s. I mean, I'm not, between 1 or 2 pennies every now and then. I think we can sort of risk. Yeah, see, now it's 86. Okay, well, whatever. Honestly, man, if we'll take some 86s, we'll get some 86s. I'm on paid gateway, so it's going to have to run through me to get them, especially at this price. I bid 83s, and I was like, I'm not getting them. So I punched 84. So we did make some levels there. And what I mean by punching is just like removing liquidity. So if you look now, like right now I'm bidding 86, needing this thing to fall down to get the fill, right? We're actually on this MX gateway. And then if it falls down, we'll get, there it goes. So now we get the fill. But otherwise, if you get frustrated, you can actually get long immediately by buying 86s or wait in line for 85. My general strategy is to wait in line for 85 because when we wait in line, like that fill I just got, I'll get paid to get that fill. It's about $2 every 1,000 shares. So I prefer to, keep my fees and everything under control by adding liquidity as much as I possibly can. So that's what I just did right there. Now my average price is 85 and we have double the shares. So hopefully this move will happen to the upside and then we'll worry about it after. But that's what we're looking at right now with Intel. Nice little long here. This is what I want to be in.
Yeah, a couple of things. I did get some out for profit on Netflix there, but Affirm is now out. You'll see that short now gone off my book. We did short it multiple times today, but the last one sort of off the 5s and the 10s here, it just broke out those teens. So looks like Affirm could go green today. We'll see. It probably has to go another 20 cents or so if the market keeps it up. This could end up a green stock, at least. That's if the market holds up. I will probably take a shot shorting it off the high, but that's not a guarantee. We talked about this on Netflix, kind of getting from 46 to that 46 half zone. Struggling a little bit there. If it dips, 45 is a pretty solid price, but watch out for the chip names. I mean, NVIDIA just cleared out that 76. It is coming to the upside pretty decently here. And let's not sleep on Tesla. Tesla's right back to 194. Now, 95 to me on Tesla, I probably want to take a shot. This is where one of the places that I didn't look to reverse the trade, 95 to 96. Looks like it's at one of those shorting zones. It gets up there. We'll look for that fade. I'm flat on SOUN. It's essentially not moving right now. Kind of just made a run at the high again and didn't quite break out. So I got my bids underneath 320 in case this one flushes back into 3 even. Brendo, what's up, bud?
It seems like a few people are still asking about this Doge move. Crazy, 18% right now. It did pull back a little bit, but there it is. Almost 18% anyways. It's this. Go to Twitter. It's this thing has become a Doge head, whatever you want to call it. So that seems to be the reason anyways, guys, that this made this huge move.
Is that the Doge head? Is that the terminology?
Let's just get one thing clear.
Did Brendan just drop the mic?
Brendan's I'm going to throw one out there. He probably doesn't own too much Dogecoin, nor do I.
You don't own a ton of Doge?
I don't know. No, I do not. But I don't know. Like, look, I've been long, and I'm still long crypto, so it's fine. If it's just like, I'd rather see some rallies based on actual things, like, you know, maybe someone's
how dare you
using Dogecoin now for payments on Twitter, which would be great. Like if there's that kind of stuff being talked about, and I thought that was, maybe you can pay with Dogecoin your verification or tips or spaces or something like that, and then I could really see, and I could really get behind it. I always feel like when you're seeing a move like that, up 18%, you know, on cryptocurrency, I would just rather see a base case for this. I mean, that's the whole thing, because everybody that's bearish on crypto is going to say, well, what? Just putting up a little stupid logo, rallying it, like that's not something you want to be in, and it's not. And I don't really want to be in something that gets up 18% on a move like that, because then when news comes out about it being nothing or whatever, then do we suffer the same fate on the way back down? So I would say it's just, for now, it's a great trading vehicle, and I love that, up 18%, nothing to be wrong with that, but maybe it's just time to fade it, and then you get back and forth, and then obviously once you punch out, you'll feel like, why the heck did I punch out? Because it's going to work, right? So, yeah, I don't know.
Being tongue-in-cheek, just I hope everyone realizes that.
No, I'm not really being tongue-in-cheek.
No, I was being tongue-in-cheek, but I was like, how dare you? No, it's...
No, I just think that what you're looking for is an actual something about something. Like,
no, of course.
You know, like Bitcoin, great, it's moving around, but, you know, you're waiting for like another El Salvador or something, or regulation to hit. And then if you get a movement on some regulation news, then we could say, okay, maybe it will continue.
But so here's what I would say about
it. Yeah.
Is if you notice that the change on Twitter, and you are actively trading this, and you pull up like your 15-minute. I'll go away from the daily. Look, you know what? Let me start with the daily here, because if you kind of see where it's kind of consolidating, and you had this like 8.5, that 8.5 level there, you start to think about that, and you go into like say your 15. And you're able to sort of see that news. It breaks out a pretty key level on the daily, and you just want to make a trade. Yeah, of course, that's a news-based trade breaking out a technical level. You take it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just understanding that fundamentally it's a totally different ballgame. But we do that all the time. Like, we'll talk about the difference between fundamental moves and sort of just trading moves. Wow, Square bouncing to the upside here. 67.5 on Square was resistance. I know, because I was kind of long into that, and it couldn't really go. We got away from the short, and then 67.5 ended up being a brick wall. I got one out there, and then it flushed. So if Square gets to 67.5, I'll be looking to fade this one, unless something really crazy is going on in this market. 2-set upside. We're back to that 36 on Netflix. If it can hold, I do want to reload that trade. Market's starting to slow down a bit here, but all of a sudden Square's on my radar. This was $1 lower just a while ago, so that kind of came at you really quick. So 67.5, looking for a short on Square. Another 20 cents, it'll get there. But let's go to Brendan and our guest.
Hey guys, yeah, it's Monday afternoon. That means Danielle Shea with us, VP of Options over at Simpler Trading, to have a look at the week to come. Great to see you as always, Ms. Shea. It's been a pretty exciting day so far. A lot of individual names to discuss. I want to start with Tesla, obviously, the biggest headline coming out of the weekend. 422,000, it's hard to even say, but 422,000 cars delivered, a record, but it was still 18,000 less than they actually made. So it seems like everyone has a problem with that. I mean, we don't have to get into the numbers too picky, but give me your thoughts here on Tesla down almost 7% today.
I mean, honestly, this is very typical for how, Tesla trades. I mean, the whole buy the rumor, sell the news thing happens all the time with Tesla. Anytime there's any kind of news related event, I mean, I don't know, you can go back and look at the last, 6 to 9 months, but it pretty much always trades lower after a news related event. And I just personally think it's because people always want to pick apart Tesla and they always want to pull the negativity out of whatever the report is. So I would actually look at some of the positives of the report. And usually when Tesla falls like this, I look for buying opportunities on a longer term basis.
Because I wanted to show the daily chart here because we had such a great candle at the end of the day on Friday that looked like it was breaking out. And now, we give all of that back and then some. Where do we look at this as far as maybe a long opportunity once again? It's come such a far or a long way since, the last time we got back below that 180 level. Is there a point where you have to test the waters here for Tesla?
Yeah, definitely. So looking at a daily chart, I mean, we're almost down to the 21 EMA. That 21 EMA is going to be right at about 190. So I would say that's a pretty good area of support. Even down at 188, that's going to be where the 50 simple comes in. I mean, the 188 to 190 zone, I think that's a good area. We still have a lot of consolidation on the daily chart, and we also still have April seasonality. We have that earnings report coming up. So, I'm not a fan of the way that Tesla fell today. Tesla looked just absolutely amazing on Friday, and I agree, it looked like it was going to break out. But at the same time, I don't think that the idea of being long Tesla in April is completely dead yet, because I just think that it pulled back into support. And if we can see it, find that zone of support, hold, and then start to bounce there, then I still think we can trade it on the way up when it does, shift the upside,
Tough spot for the overall market here, given, inflation's still a problem. Obviously, we have this move in oil today with OPEC Plus coming through with a huge cut. We'll talk about that in a second, but I wanted to mention, as far as EVs are concerned, we've seen so much strength right across the board here. Is there maybe one or two from this group? Otherwise, we got delivery numbers from Rivian as well this morning. Is there one or two maybe otherwise outside of Tesla we need to have our eye on as well?
I mean, honestly, not really. And people always hate on me when I say, I always get the hate. People always say, oh no, Rivian's amazing. But for me, when I look at the longer term trends, I have to stick with the trend. I'm a trend following trader. And when you look at this daily chart of Rivian, I mean, this thing has been in a downtrend since all the way back at the very beginning of the IPO, essentially. So, I mean, for me, I would need to see this chart up above at least 22 before I would look at it to the long side. Yes, I know that, other EV makers are catching up, and that's great. And, one could point to the Tesla numbers and say that other EV makers are catching up. But at the same time, when you look at the overall trend of the chart, you're going to do a lot better in trading if you try to go with the trend instead of fight the trend. And so that's the reason why I look at, bounces and stuff like Rivian, and I just say, short it with the trend.
And they're still losing money on every single vehicle that they can seem to manage to put together as well. So yeah, definitely not a good look. Let's talk oil here. Huge move today, 6+%. Back to the upside. Pretty impressive for a few individual names. MRO, almost 10% at one point today. I mean, there's XOM, looks great as well, back to the upside. It's been a very weak start to the year for oil in general. This cut kind of comes out of nowhere this morning, but definitely a lot of individual names at decent levels that, are worth having a look at.
Yeah, so I mean, I normally like Marathon Petroleum. I think that's a strong name, and that one's trading higher today. It's made a new high. If you look at the overall price target on it, I've got a price target at 137, which I already hit, and then upwards at 142. So there might be a little bit of upside there. I also like Exxon. The way that Exxon broke up above this area of resistance, I mean, you can see that the previous high is at 119. This one could easily, trade up into about 125 or so. That's where I have my fib extension. So that one has got some really nice momentum today. Really when it comes to oil, I really just like a couple different energy stocks, Exxon, Chevron, and Marathon Petroleum. Those are typically the relative strength winners. For the most part, and I don't want to say all of them because that's, too many, but for the most part, a lot of the others, they do lag, Chevron, Exxon, and Marathon Petroleum. So if you're going to trade any of the laggards, usually what I like to do is look at the key areas of resistance. And so some of the other lagging stocks, in addition to just XLE in general, XLE has traded right up into a key area of resistance at 86. So, some of those laggards may very well just use this rally, hit that rally, and then fall backwards.
I was just double checking here. We're going to get into most of the energy group not until May as far as earnings are concerned. So still a few weeks to go. The closest one really is Tesla as far as earnings to consider. We're kind of in that in-between, time zone where we're not necessarily in earnings season anymore, but still have a few weeks to go here. As far as catalysts are concerned, when you get into that in-between area, you kind of have to really pick and choose your spots here. One of those is coming up on Friday. The market itself still very headline driven, obviously. Non-farm payrolls to come on Friday. Friday is a holiday, obviously, so we're not going to be here, but we get a chance to have a look at it on Monday as the market's actually trying to test higher right now. As far as the overall market is concerned, I think it's kind of just sitting here waiting for any reason to get going once again.
Oh, definitely. And when you look at what happened over the course of the last 3 to 4 weeks, we had the 10-year tanking, we had tech stocks rallying. I think that people want to be long, and I think that there's a lot of money that, needs to be put to work. And this bear market has been dragging on in the NASDAQ for a really long time. It's an old bear at this point. And so when we started to see those breakouts last week, people are looking for an excuse to buy. And, you've got Apple, Microsoft breaking out. When you're looking at the next catalyst in the market, yes, we do have inflation data, but for me, really it's just about earnings season. And I really like this run up into earnings season because typically you do see buyers coming in because people want to be hopeful and people want to say, hey, maybe things aren't going to be that bad this quarter. Let's buy these stocks before earnings. And that's been happening even throughout the bear market. So that's the kind of pattern that I'm looking for this month. But I'll tell you, if it doesn't come through and if we can't break up above, if, for example, in Netflix and Amazon, we got to get up above those February highs. In Microsoft and Apple, we've got to get up above those August highs. If we can't do that, we're just going to see another massive sell in May and go away. So got my fingers crossed that, buyers are going to be plentiful this month and will continue along with the upwards momentum. But regardless of which way it goes, I'm going to trade it.
It was an interesting article I was reading going back to last week, at the end of last week, regarding money managers and money flow at this point going into the next earnings season. And it was 40%. It was the first time ever, apparently. It was 40% of money managers were overweight cash and then 40% underweight U.S. tech equities specifics. And that was the first time that those two things had occurred in that survey. So going to what you were saying, in the sense that a lot of cash still sitting on the sidelines, just waiting for some sort of reason as to get involved. I wanted to mention the banks. When we spoke last week, we were talking about these regional banks. Not much else has changed since then, but we have seen a little bit more positivity coming back in as far as price action today. This FRC, the big one today, up about 3%. Is there an opportunity, I guess, as far as the regional banks are concerned, from your perspective on the options side of thing, given that, at some point we probably get a recovery here?
I'm looking at this and it's still looking the same as it did last week. We've got KRE, it's down here on 43.5. We haven't really seen a break up above those previous highs. What I would do as far as entering this in the options market is I would go back and I would look at, let's say, the March 16th high. That's going to be right at about 47.61. You could even use a lower high if you wanted. You could use 45-ish just to give you a little bit of a lower high for an entry point. So what you'd want to do as far as looking for any kind of retracement is you'd want to look at that previous high and you'd say, okay, between 45 and 47, if we can break up above that previous high, then we might get a momentum move to the upside and you could get long on that trigger. If you were going to do that, then I would say using a cheaper out of the money option would probably be a better bet, just because it's going to be low risk. And when you do get a retracement, and when I say retracement, I mean, hey, this thing is tanked, right? Anything that tanks, it's usually going to retrace a little bit. It's not going to go back to brand new highs, but it fell. You'll get a little bit of a dead cat bounce that you can capitalize on. You know, maybe do like a Delta 50, Delta 40 call. You could go a little bit out of the money too, like Delta 30. You could definitely do that, but I would not do it without a buy trigger. And a buy trigger would be the break of the previous high, depending on which high you wanted to use, a little bit more aggressive at 45 or more conservative around 47.
Ms. Shea, it's always a good day when I get to speak to you, so I want to thank you for taking time to speak with me. So thank you for that here today. All right, so I'm going to talk about quickly, if you come to my screen here, Prad, Fahad, whoever's on the board over there quickly, Exxon, Mobil, Chevron, Schlumberger, you talked about all these names here, Marathon, so on and so forth. So they're all in the XLE. I've been buying the XLE for a little while because I did think that oil was a little overdone to the downside. But with that being said, how come I never hear you talk too much about ETFs? Is that something that you try to stay away from, as far as like, you know, even talking about Tesla? Do you ever trade, you know, the EV ETF? But more importantly here with XLE, if you like those three names that you mentioned, they're already such a huge percentage of the XLE. Is this something that you stay away from? And maybe there might be a reason why, if you do stay away from trading the ETFs.
Hey, so great question, and it's good to see you like always. So, you know, what I like to do with the ETFs is I like to buy and hold them in my long-term portfolio. So when I like, you know, 3 of the top stocks, and I like the ETF, then I like to buy and hold that. I also, what I will do is I will trade them sometimes in the options market, but a lot of our members, you know, they really like stocks that they're moving, right? And so that's why I usually trade a lot of these high beta names like Tesla and the tech names, because they can really move. What I generally do is when people are more conservative and they want less risk, then I tell them, okay, you know what? Instead of trading the Schlumberger and the Chevron and the Exxon, why don't you just trade XLE? Because, you know, usually the price is going to be lower, just depending on, you know, which ETF and which stock you're looking at. And also the percentage moves are also a lot smaller too. So when you're comparing and you say, hey, you know, I either bought Exxon or I bought XLE, and the same move happens, generally in the options market, you can, you know, see a lot more movement on the individual stock. The other reason why I trade the individual stocks instead of the overall ETF is because I do a lot of earnings related plays. And so generally what I'm looking for is I want to trade it around that specific earnings date. But I definitely do a lot of analysis on the overall sector spider ETFs, because I want to look at exactly what you're saying. You know, you thought crude was oversold, and so you wanted to look at these top tickers. And that's exactly what I do. I start with that base analysis, and then I come down to trade whichever ticker I'm going to look at.
Ms. Danielle Shea, I mean, I throw the question at you and then you just knock it out of the park. That's a fantastic answer. Everybody on our chat absolutely loves you, and I want to thank from everybody here at Trader TV Live. Thank you for coming back. And how's the kid? I mean, I see you keep, it's Luke, isn't it?
Yes.
How's he doing? Is he sleeping here? Because normally he makes an appearance.
He's doing great. He's in the other room. He's not screaming, which is amazing. Perfect. So yes, he's very happy. So we were going through a phase for a while where he would not be away from me for even 5 minutes. And he was very, very unhappy, even with his dad, which he's with all the time, you know? Yeah. So he's gotten a little bit better over the course of the past couple weeks, and he can stand being away from me for a good 20 minutes. So,
so you get the makeup on, fix your hair, everything like that. But we want to thank you again for coming on. Thank you so much. Great analysis there. And let's go Tesla, let's go XLE, and let's go everything else. VP of Options at Simpler Trading, Ms. Danielle Shea. Until next time.
Thank you.
amazing as always. And
Yeah, I
that's the
mean,
thing.
she's just great. Like I talked about XLE and it's bang, 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 bang.
She's
bang.
wicked smart. That's what she
Wicked
is.
smart.
Wicked
She's
smart.
wicked smart. But you know what is that? At Boston? What is that? Where is that?
I don't know. That's from Goodwill Hunting. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Boston.
You're right. It's Boston, but it is Goodwill Hunting.
Where's that Boston Bruins mug that we got?
Oh, hey Brennan, man. You were supposed to bring yours in. No, it's my brother-in-law is a huge Bruins fan, and my nephew's a big Bruins fan. So I found a use because what am I going to do? I'm not a Bruins fan.
So I would have brought it in for you as well, but see, I kind of like, I told my kid because
Well, you weren't here. I was going to ask you.
it's a big B on it, and my kid's is Barron.
So he.
So I was like, yo, you know, Dad got you this mug, you know, but nah, he knows. He knows.
Barron wouldn't have fallen for that when he was 3 years old.
He knows
dude,
it's the Bruins, but it's his cup now, so I can't.
That's fair.
I can't give that one to you.
Oh, I'm gonna do this one. Let's see. What do you guys think of this? So.
Told you there was new animations. I don't know. Why is your arm doing this?
I don't know what I'm doing in that one.
Let me see.
So SOUN started to roll over. That's me. You know what? Let's just. Come on, son. That one better?
Yeah, that's the normal one.
That's the first one.
That's the old school.
So that's what I'm talking about. We're a little happier about that. So SOUN rolling over. I'm going to close that. I'm going to close that poll for the points on Tesla in a minute, but I have to get over these. SOUN starting to roll over. We did grab that. We got square or block, whichever one you want to call it. It hit 67.5. We got one leg out, one VWAP out. Holding upside is Netflix. Netflix about 90 pennies in the money here, trying to hold to the upside. And I'm going to go ahead and close that poll. And look, Darwin, you're a genius about how you did it because we didn't close the poll last week.
Still an hour.
And so he jammed everything in with like a minute before the close when you pretty much couldn't lose. That was absolutely genius, but I'm going to close the poll now. Tesla over under 75. So you got a few seconds. I'll find the button. You probably have a few more seconds to get your bets in.
But what's Tesla doing right now?
I don't have 94.40.
94.40. So I mean, I feel like it's fine. Right at it. The over-under is 195.
I'm giving you 10 more seconds.
Hard
people.
to jam in right now. We got some nice little wins right here. We're going to fire off this one. This is an oldie but a goodie, one of my favorite ones. It is the hot dog cannon. And if you go to any sporting events, that's what sparked the idea behind the hot dog cannon right there. So we're firing off some winners as we go. And there's Intel again. We said we'd switch it up over to Intel. And there it is, a nice little win for us on Intel. And then we could have an L. I'm going to get another piece. I'm going to get a piece out here at 72. I feel like I have too many shares now on a name here, Google, that just continues to rip up to the top. Because look where we're at for Google, man. We are right at this high again right now. So it's a good thing we got out of the way. We started the show short on Google. We talked about that, right? Got busted out as soon as we took down that level. And it's a good thing we did because it gave us the opportunity to reload right now. So now we're short on Google, long on Intel. We have a huge winner on Apple right now as well. But it hasn't been... Like something needs to happen. Like, you know, we need some movement here in this market if we're gonna, you know, make some big money here. I'm gonna get out a piece. There it is. I just took a piece out at 72 there on Google. Just felt like it has had such a huge move up. Plus, we're enjoying our Intel fruits of our labor here on Intel. So we just got an 89 out, an 88 and an 89, and now we're starting to fall back down a little bit. So here, hopefully Google will come in. My out for Google was a break of 80. So we're short at 70, a break of 80. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but that's where my out is right now on Google. Looking for about 10 pennies as Neil tries to figure out how to get this poll closed. Okay, it's closed. Okay, that's a good sign right there. Apple. I'm still looking at everything right now, just trying to figure out this Google trade as my last one on. We still have Intel. So we have Intel and Google, but one's long, one's short. I have to figure out, you know, what we prefer here.
Yeah, and I just got my second fill there on Square, so that one continues to go to the downside. Not a huge flush, but resistance is resistance. It was a strong move into that 67.5, so we're able to take advantage of it there. Bradley actually helping out there, making sure we got that poll closed. Tesla,
good.
194.5, man. It could still go either way, the last I checked, but we'll see what goes on. Market's probably going to have to continue that rally to pick it up. As I said, SOUN, I'll take $3 if it gets back into 3, essentially shorting it off the quarters into the half. Like, you're giving 5 or 6 pennies worth of risk. I mean, if it goes 25, we'll be happy with it. If it gets to $3. I did want to check back in on Netflix. It's starting to slow a little bit. I went for so as we're obviously listening to Miss Danielle Shea, it came back down to 346. It kind of dipped the under, went back over, and I tried to pick up some shares. I probably don't need this bid anymore. Try to pick up some more shares. I did miss it. Now it's back to 47s. It's so slow right now, the volume. It's a good long. It's just not really exploding the way I would have expected the way the futures went. I thought we'd be at the high of the day and I'd be getting out in front of the high. I'm going to throw my offer in front of the high of the day. Hopefully we can get that, but kind of a slow grind to the upside of Netflix, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with a slow grind. Just every now and then you want a little bit more activity. Oh, my bet. See, once again, I just went with what I thought was going to pay out better by betting under on Tesla. And Tesla feels like it wants that 195, baby. So 195 incoming, but it has to close above there. So it's got to close above 195. It doesn't. Not that it gets there. It has to close above 195 for it to be any good for everybody out there. And okay, I haven't looked at it since the morning, but Take Profit says check out SoFi. Neil checks out SoFi. SoFi still doing pretty much nothing. There was a decent set of like scalp trade longs, but once it took out that 6, I got out. Actually ends up holding the 6 level. So I think I'll revisit that $6 area tomorrow if it's still holding up. There was a good breakout on Friday, trying a continuation there. You really wanted the first move, not the dip back in, but it's still respecting this $6. Above is fantastic for the stock on the higher time frame. And then once it clears the 50, if it clears the 50 period, I should say, at 6:30, that's big. That's where it stalled out today. To the dime, not to the dime, to the penny at the 50 period simple moving average is where SoFi got to before reversing. Hold 6, break 6:30 tomorrow. I'll like that breakout if and when it happens this week. Holiday shortened week, so there's still 3 days for SoFi to get through that 50 period.
All right, guys, what's up, Crypto Gangster? What's up to everybody else as well? Look at this, man. Dogecoin still continues to fly, man. Up 25% right now and still going higher. There's Dogecoin off some posts on Twitter there. Elon putting up that little Doge logo, and we're going to find out what that means. Is Elon just getting out of some Dogecoin to pay for Twitter? But it's a nice move to the upside right there. Can you imagine that one guy, and we know this about Elon, you know, you can't really do anything about it, but who knows how many Dogecoin that guy has, and when this rips up like that, I mean, that's 25% right there. Whenever you look at something here about Dogecoin, I just want people to be very, very, and what's up to Steve G? Like, this is now a 180-day chart. You know, look how extended you are here. 1 year, you know, maximum. I mean, max, we're nowhere near where we were. This, and guess when this happened? Can anybody remember when Dogecoin went all the way to 50, 60 cents? If you can remember the event that happened that caused that, put it in the chat there, and you know, you hopefully will be right. And if you say something about Elon Musk, you're going to be right. Hopefully you guys can remember when that was. And what I was saying before, what was it?
SNL.
Yeah, exactly. When he went on.
Well, you know, I mean, yeah.
When he went on SNL. I remember looking at it, and I was watching it, and it was like 56, 57, 58, and it kept on going up there. And then he made some sort of comments on SNL, but not much. And then it just went down, like, you know, the next day, and so on and so forth. And that's so that to me is the problem essentially with all of crypto right now. Is and I really like taking advantage of that move up on Dogecoin. And you're going to get FOMO when you sell, right? Because tomorrow it could be 11 cents or 12 cents. And man, I missed it. And then it rips all the way up. So I always think that the best strategy in anything is to get out of a little and try to hold a lot, and then get out a little again, then hold, then just keep getting out as it goes. And the good thing about crypto too is, depending on the exchange you're in, you can use stop orders. So like right here on Dogecoin, if you're going to do anything, I mean, even if we go, and again, I apologize, this is not the greatest chart, it's just our CoinGecko, so there's really no levels here to look at. But like if you're long at 10, I mean, you can put a stop at 9. Once it breaks 9, you get out, something like that. So, you know, if this was a bar, I mean, I guess I can use bars. I was going to say if I can find a bar chart here, but again, it's just minutes. This is like, I don't know what even kind of chart this is here. It's 24 hours, but I don't know what every single one of these.
It's got to be a daily.
Yeah, it's not, though.
No, it's not.
Maybe half-hour chart here, candles. But anyways, I would just say, you know, you can look at candle charts and candlesticks and try to get out as well. So that wick right there is 9.5, where you had some get up there. So I would say just put some stop orders in. But yeah, I don't have much to say about, I'm not in Dogecoin, wish I was. But yeah, nice move up. Congratulations, anybody that's in that one. We're about to get stopped out of Google, which is fine. We talked about getting some issues there. We're long at, short at 70. Looks like we're gonna get out at 81. So when that happens, and there it is, we are now out. So see you later on that one. Not a great trade there, but at the same time, this is a much better one. We talked about loading up Intel. Now you're trying to break 90. So just stay strong stay long the strong names. And Google today, we've lost on Google. We have, red names, 2 red names today, Amazon and Google. And lost on both of them there, especially while we were good on Google until we lost. Nice short off that same level right there. And then we started to mess with it a little bit in here. That was the bad one. Here is really nothing, but it's right into here against that level that we lost. So we'll just turn red on Google right now, and very positive on Intel, though. We're only getting into it for the first time.
Yeah, and look, when you talk about like crypto and whatnot, like there's so many. We can pull up a million charts. We were just talking about Rivian, and Danielle Shea brought up the Rivian chart. Like, look how far it's beaten up. Like, there's names that put those moves to shame at times, and you just understand what you're dealing with. There's momentum play to be had there, pretty much just about in every kind of a market, and we don't really mind trading it. Just going back over to one of the things that I'm in here, Netflix. It just wicked 47s again. So this needs to, or get off the pot. Like, it cannot break the high here with the market continuing to scream. Like, look at that. I shouldn't say scream, but, on the 15-minute, it's a pretty good-looking chart getting back to the upside. And Netflix was relatively strong compared to the market. The ES looking pretty much the same. Whichever one I pull up, it's going to show you the same 4 bars here on the 15-minute chart. I'd like to see a little bit more carry through, because if we get to the high and you still haven't broken on Netflix, it's likely to reject. And that's one of those things I have to respect. It's just kind of a slow grinder into that upside. I want to try one more shot at a reload if I get it on block. I wouldn't reload reload SOUN at the high of the day. I feel like it already turned off that level, but I'll take one more chance to reload 67.5 on square. I did get a couple of legs out, but no push back into VWAP. So as it comes up, one more shot at this short in particular. We'll see if this one wants to go here. Don't really see anything else. I don't have a trade on Tesla, but obviously we're still watching that one for the 195. It's still at 194.5, believe it or not. It was there when I checked it last. It's still in exactly the same spot. So don't force any trades in stocks that aren't really moving a heck of a lot, and that's certainly the case with Tesla right now.
Oh man, look, I'm getting excited here because we have some nice wins happening for us. Just too bad we didn't hit that Google long, but look what's happening to the market. Has anyone even noticed this? Like, we had Danielle Shea on here, and then since about, this is 2:30, right? We're just straight up to the upside right now. Does the NASDAQ even get positive today? I don't know. It's possible. The ES is up 0.3, up 0.3. Check in on oil as oil closed at 230 right there with some big volume. It's up 40 cents since that close. Oil up 6.5 and really ripping people's faces off today. I could say that wasn't expected, but I have been buying some XLE, some gold. So it's been a good trade for me so far on oil. But okay, here's a nice move up. Oh, we didn't take any out there on Intel. Maybe we should. Let's take a 91, 92 there, and if we can get something at 94, we'll do that. Oh, it's because I was waiting for 96. All right, well, we'll still get some 94s if we can, and then we'll get some 96s. So I just got an easy fill there, using gateways that are inverted, so we have to pay for the fill, but sometimes you get those, right? And there's a lot of dark pool prints that'll give you fills as well when it doesn't wipe out the level, and there's like 100 shares on Edge A. So if you put an order on Edge A, you'd get filled, but if you put one on ARCA, you wouldn't have yet, right? So there is a difference there about putting in trades on good stocks on the right gateways. All right, Meta, we tweeted this out, man. Meta was a great short till it wasn't, and then we got out, which is fine. Then we reversed into the long right there. So once we reversed long, took some more out, got some long in there again, and then this is when we were doing the midday show, and unfortunately it did take out that 210.50, which was this 200 period. Now it's been adjusted. It was a little bit lower, but we got out there when it broke. Unfortunately, it didn't break VWAP, and we didn't respect that, but look at this move up for Meta. Meta goes positive, and I'm going to take this long until we break 212. So this is sort of a small position to start off with Meta right now, but it's a 212 long. Again, here's some levels right down here, 211.75, 211.80, some consolidation, but I'm going to play off the 50 period right there of 212. So if the market does come back a little bit here. Again, it's 315, so we're getting ready for the imbalances to come out at 330, the early look, and then 350 they'll get announced. So I'm going to go long Meta here. Hopefully we don't dip down too much. With that being said, let's get some more Intel out. But right now, if this does dip down, look for a long to come in here against 212. Let's just try Meta. Let's not fight the trend. Straight upside, positive. NASDAQ trying to go as well. Nice moves to the upside here. Oil closed. ES up. JP Morgan in the banks. Let's have a quick look. I don't think I don't think you looked at any banks today. I know I didn't. 130.30 right now for JP Morgan, not doing anything on the day, but right here flat. So it's not a bank issue right here. Tech can get going, especially with oil closed. So let's see if we can make some magic happen right there. Did I just get an Intel fill at 90? Did I? Yes, I did. So we got out some more there at 90 on Intel. So let's see what happens now. Right now, long Meta, Intel, and look at this trade of the day, which is Apple. I thought I was doing pretty good getting out right there. Remember what I said. You buy these dips hoping for something like this. And now you're right back up to the upside. Apple, man, did we pick that winner out of the blue today. We'll see if we can do that again. But for right now, it's Apple. And we just got into Meta. Meta right now, 15 cents in the money. See if it can go a little bit higher. We're long 54s, 65, 66, 67s with a nice little print here for Meta. So we'll see if that can continue to work to the upside. I'm going to watch Meta now.
Yeah, and the fact that Apple is pretty much at that morning high, like right back to 166 and rejecting it, not rejecting it, but slowing down a bit, that's going to check up the market. I mean, Apple, obviously one of the biggest names out there is going to have an outsized influence at times. So when it finds resistance at the same time the markets are getting close to those highs, you want to be able to respect it. I do still have that Netflix. As a matter of fact, I have a trail in here, but I'm actually on the offer in front of that 47 level. Do want to get a little bit out of Dodge. I want my reload. As the market's starting to roll over, I'm up here at 67.5 for block, and I might just get a little bit more aggressive because if this rolls over from here, and we can get something kind of off those highs it's already going, this is a name I know is at a resistance level I like at that 67.5. I still would prefer to get 50s. If I got to take 40s, I'll just go ahead and take those 40s. And then just another one to get back over to. That SOUN is still holding a higher low, but it's making another curl through. So it looks like this one is likely to give up VWAP. I know we talked some of the AI names in C3 AI. For any breakout, kind of running out of time for this to happen on C3AI. It's actually breaking back down, and watch out, VWAP could get taken out. I would think that if this takes out that 33.35, you're going to see some pullback in all the affected names. That includes your BFAI. I know I'm in one right now, but BFAI, that's on the New York? It's on the Amex. Okay, no, it's BGAI.
Right.
It's BGAI, right? That is the one.
GFAI.
No, GFAI, that's the one. That's the one. There's too many of these AI names. You just saw me say GFAI. That one here, 18, flat bottom break. I don't know if I paid for locates on this, but 18 has been holding up pretty decently. Kind of a bull flag forming, but you have AI on support right now. You've got GFAI on support right now at 18 even. So watch out for your flat bottom breaks on those two. Where's my fill? I'm trying to get 75s here on Netflix. It just doesn't want to fill me.
Yeah, we can do an update now. We are now finished this. Let's do bull. Let's see what my bull looks like. Oh, I'm doing that thing with my arm as well.
It's
right there. It's just a great graphic. So we'll do that. We're down. We'll do some props, which is a good one as well.
no, it's not.
Yeah. So we're into everything right now, and there's the out on Apple, man. Just like Neil said, we just came right back into resistance again. So I'm not. Whether or not Apple rips here, this is $1.50 in the money. We're taking that trade. We talked about doing better holding it. So there's Apple, almost like an NFT right there. Buy the dips, get out on buy the support, sell the resistance, boom, boom. Finally, that worked. I don't know why Apple just went up to the upside like without even thinking about it. Huge move up right there. So that's a good one. All right. So still looking at that Google, still looking at Meta. It's only 320 right now. Was that just a bull pooping cash?
That's kind of what it looked like.
Does it? I'm going to see again.
That's
No, it's coming. No, it's coming out of his feet. It's coming out of his feet. Okay, another one we have. This is a new bag.
technically yes.
Not bad. I mean, that's very similar to the old one. What else do we have? Oh, we have this one, of course. That's actually
Nobody reacts to being slapped with that face.
I don't even really mind that one.
My slap is this one.
Yeah, but how come you all of a sudden got about 10 shades darker? Hit that again.
Isn't that amazing? Because that's how it works.
There
when
you are.
slap.
Bang, bang,
Boom.
bang, bang.
Boom.
That's
right.
It's like what? So white guys get red on their face, and you just get blacker.
These graphics are.
These are the best graphics
You know what?
of all time.
Honestly, those graphics, they're so bad, they're great. That's the best part about it. Like, aren't they? They're just so much fun. I didn't even notice that, but that's ridiculous.
I didn't. That was great. I don't.
Come on,
I mean,
son.
we could have. That's like a Photoshop thing. You could fix the tint on.
No,
Let me see, does
that's
my
something.
face? Hold on.
It's something.
If my
alright.
face goes red, then maybe everything. Let me see. No, I just...
You're wearing the same shirt. Am I wearing the same shirt?
Oh, don't tell me you're not wearing the same. Nope.
It's not even the same shirt.
See, so it's all good.
Come on, son. That was obvious.
People having mixed feelings right now.
They're not having mixed feelings. They think it's terrible.
Okay, how about this one? That's okay. That reminds me of one of those kids, the Fisher Price.
I need to cleanse my palate. We're all going to cleanse our palate with the graphics by doing this.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
Which one?
Oh, that one.
I don't have that one.
I can't hit a million in a row. Oh, just one last thing.
How to put new ones on, but erase the other
you're
ones.
right. That is the face I make when the Jays lose. Thankfully, a
lot of faces then come.
Yeah, thankfully I didn't actually see yesterday's game because, wow, that was bad. But DWAC's to the upside. I'm now quickly changing the subject from baseball because I don't want to talk about it. DWAC up 8.5%. I'm a little surprised by that. I thought this was not getting to $15, and apparently it got there twice today. Thrice, 4 times. This is now the 4th time it's been above $15. So a double top up at $15.30 here. If it breaks $15.30, there's no volume here. It's like 1.5 million and actually dwindling. If it breaks, but if it does break out, I'll probably look to short a pop. No new catalyst that I'm aware of here. So whether it's 16, 17, I'll be looking for a fade. I got to go pay for some locates, but I'm going right back to the well. What we usually do over there in DWAC, which is look to short the pots. If it breaks that high, I'll be looking for a 16 or 17 short.
I thought we were going to Brendo there, but we are not. Are we? No.
Are we?
No? Okay, no, that's okay. All right, so I was just looking here. Again, you know, getting back in the same name that you've already lost on is never really a great idea. But, I mean, look at this move up for Amazon. So, again, earlier on, I was going to make this the trade of the day as well, just because we lost. And how it wasn't could have been a lot worse than it actually was. There's a lot of trades where I just keep shorting and never getting any out because I believe there's a downside move. And I just feel like we were able to get some out there before eventually getting them all out when it broke higher. And that was an L for us there. Then we shorted Amazon again and took all this profit, then shorted right when the show started again. And unfortunately, that one was the loser. But you're bouncing off against VWAP right here. That's a nice trade right there. Let's go. We'll go back to the old school graphics right there and go awesome because there goes Meta finally starting to go back up to the upside. So that's a quick 20 cents right there. 54s out 75s. That's what we were waiting for. So now it's starting to climb upside now on Meta. I don't have any more offers. I did have some bids a lot lower if we ever got down here to 212 again, but it doesn't look like it wanted to do that. So we're going to get another piece out on Meta. Let's try an 85. It just stopped there. And just noticing that we don't have too many bids left for this name. So if we can get some moves to the upside, it'll be good for us on Meta. 85 gives us 30 cents, and it's pretty much the whole breakout right now. If we could break higher, that'd be even better. But right now, Meta, high side, higher than we've ever been at today. Yes, sir. As Meta takes out the day right there, that's why we went long, taking out some of these levels against the 212. So again, we're looking for 50 cents. I mean, the thing is, what I was saying about me getting out at 212, this is a starter position. So it does suck that it's ripping up because it only is a third of the position that I wanted, but we were really ready to get longer here against this 212. So I'm at 85 right now, I believe, or so on this. Where am I? 84s? I'm at... Did I get filled? No, I did not. I'm at 84 right now, so hopefully we can get up. That's just where we stopped. And we've talked about that, where I'm literally the guy stopping the moves. We're at 84. I thought I was at 85, so I'm actually at 84. Hopefully I can go up. It's not like I'm trading that many shares, so it shouldn't matter, but let's see if that can work right now. 35 cents in the money on Meta, and then Intel just came all the way back, but we only have 25% of our Intel trade left.
So I rang the register.
Come on, Meta.
That's that new one. I'll show you Netflix, but I want to talk about McDonald's for a quick second. Netflix
Tesla?
got back up to that 347. I got out of Dodge. You'll see no longer in the long position, so I have no longs, just SOUN. Oh, I just got another fill on that one, so that's pretty good. We'll throw that back away. And look at what is low-key breaking out. I'm saying low-key because one of my nieces, she says low-key a lot. She's a teenager, so I've probably heard it way too much this weekend, and she might hear me say that every now and then. It happens to you. So when you go to England, you come away with an accent, you spend too much time around teenagers, you say things like low-key and whatever else it is they say. Cost-cutting is good. That's what everyone tends to believe. So McDonald's making some cuts. They're only up 1%, but notice all the green, and notice the breakout at 280 on the daily chart. This might deserve our attention because look at that trend to the upside. And McDonald's, quite frankly, you talk about things that ought to be recession-proof. I mean, that's If it isn't, then I don't know what is. And look at the break on the day that's actually happening here. So strong stock finally starting to make a bigger move, and it's only been, you look at the last year and a half here since 2020, it's been low, it's been higher lows. Now finally breaking through that like November high. I think it's worth a look for us in the next coming days or so to look for some trades on that. We saw the news this morning and kind of ignored it because McDonald's not usually a trade, but it wasn't that complex if you really looked at the chart to try to sniff something out. I'm gonna pull a $3 bid on SOUN, and I don't know what one I can see what this one does. I mean, that's okay. Green plane is just a little bit weird. It should probably be the Trader TV Live colors of the plane. That would make a little bit of sense. So I just got some 305s out. I'm going to cancel my bid at 3. Now if it falls with about 30 minutes to go, I'm just going to leave it. Either it gets into VWAP here. I'll probably put a trailing stop in, a little tighter to 330. Likely to be closer to break even, but SOUN's continuing to work. I have not gotten any more square. Those are the two shorts I put on. One, okay, look at it now doing nothing on block. So it's in the money, not moving. I'm going to cancel the closer of those orders and only hold out for 67.5. Looks like that's going to be it. Now's going to be the moment that Netflix takes out the high because I took it out in front of 47. It probably takes out that high as we speak, but I still believe this market's going to have some trouble as long as Apple's doing nothing at the high of the day.
What is
so it
Intel
got to the
doing?
high, and it's just chilling out here. So there's a lot of things going sideways as the market grinds higher. Just take your profits. You've seen that. Like, take your profits, play inside of the range that's established this afternoon. If you get into your trade, you don't make a dime until you get out of it. Last I checked, if you're able to not follow that rule, then either you're Fahad or you know something about the markets that I don't.
Well, there's only one Fahad, so it has to be the latter.
He's still in that. He's probably still in that AMD trade from Friday that he logged out of. He left the show and stayed in the AMD long.
People were questioning whether or not Fahad was in live mode. He's not.
Oh, he's in
okay, so there. I will just put that to rest because we had some talk back and forth there on the show as people were like, is this guy actually making those decisions without even knowing how to enter orders?
Well,
and the answer is no. That's not how we do things there. But Fahad's getting better. He's getting better. He talked about moving averages today and looking. And that's what it's all about. He's just sort of filling in as we go through some hosts there on the midday show. I want to give a big shout out to Fahad.
But look at he was.
Yeah. I was feeding him some trades.
Yeah,
but he had some good trades.
He reversed a meta short into 211, into 210.
Look, the sun shines on a dog's ass at least twice a day, right? Or is it once a day?
No, it's twice a day.
Twice a day. I'm just saying.
No.
It's a saying.
Figure
it's a saying
of speech, man.
Slow down, Fahad. No, it's just that if you go long and you hold it, you're gonna win every once in a while.
Well, see, you
if you
said
go
broken
short
clock.
and you hold it, you're gonna win every once in a while.
Yes.
You know, so that's what I'm getting at. We can't just sit here and make calls. We have to try to justify the calls. So big shout out to Fahad. And what I was getting at in the first place was that it was great to have Fahad on the show because I think he does. And this is the thing. We got the feedback with Arun, right? And that is that there's a lot of traders looking for advice to start out a brand new account. And that's exactly what Fahad's doing. So I personally, and we're going to talk about this as the show grows. I mean, I feel like it's growing every day, but is that how can we do better? How can we do better for maybe beginning traders? How can we do better explanations, better trade ideas, so on and so forth? Which is why I brought you that trade of the day on Apple, right? Because it was very simple. It made a lot of sense, and it's just something off support and resistance. But right now, it's a huge move upside. Not a huge, but huge enough for me, anyways, because there it is right now. It's a nice move up for Intel. As I punch out a little bit there, 85. We just got a lot long down there. You can see our average price is 82. So we'll get some out at 86 as we're getting more and more and more. And then guess what's happening with Meta as well? Yes, sir. Here we go. 50 cents now in the money on Meta. So hopefully this market can rally a little bit. What's up, Brendo?
All right, big news in crypto land on this side of the border today, guys. Some M&A activity happening. WonderFi announcing that they're merging with CoinSquare and CoinSmart to form a regulated, 100% regulated crypto asset platform. Just hearing $411 million to the buy side as well at 3:30 there. So coming up tomorrow to talk about this, there we go. Kevin O'Leary going to join us in the morning along with Dean Skirka, who is the president, co-founder, interim CEO of WonderFi, to talk about that news that came out today, guys. So that's going to be tomorrow morning, so 10:30. Make sure you're with us.
awesome opportunity to, maybe we can ask them about Dogecoin. I mean, I don't know.
I'd be curious. Yeah, I'd be
We'll
curious.
see what they think about all that. But Brendan, you know, the best in the business, will be all over that one. So I want to thank the boys and girls and team from WonderFi for throwing down. It'd be nice to have Kevin back on as well. Maybe we'll throw some questions at him.
I'd love to hear what he thinks about the little move by OPEC. I'm kind of curious.
Yes,
to see what
yes,
he'd
he's
say
a
about
big
that. I know it's
oil
off.
guy.
It'll be off topic tomorrow,
He's an
but
oil guy. That's fine.
he loves his energy. So.
We'll see what's on topic for those guys. I know they like to be prepared, so maybe they're only going to talk about
That's
crypto.
true. We don't know.
We'll figure that out, but I know Kevin can talk about pretty much anything. Sometimes we ask about watches as well. But okay, that was 440 to buy, I think, Brendo. Buy?
Buy.
The imbalance was 400 to buy? Yeah. I missed it in the chat. Oh, it's not there. Okay, perfect. You got it. Okay, good. So it is a buy side. So that's good. The only reason I'm asking that, of course, is because we're long. Right now, we're long Intel, which we just, was able to get some out there. And what I'm doing on Intel is honestly, look at this, buys and sells, buys and sells. So, I mean, this is scalping, pretty much scalping 101 here. That's exactly what we've been doing, man. We're buying these bottom wicks at 80. We just got a great fill at 81. So let's take advantage of that. If this market can grip to a positive spot here, I think that Intel now. So I do have an offer at 87, then the next one's not till 94. So I feel like if we can get a net, we just got an 87 there. So maybe we get it again, and then that high is 94. Thinking we could take that out, which coincides with the level that was made right at lunchtime there. So hopefully we can take that out and then climb. And we just got another fill, or did I not get that fill on Meta? I did not. We're at 09 on Meta. So I just saw the net rip up, thought maybe we got filled, checks notes, still has same position. So there it is. Did we just get it there? No, we did not again get it. Okay, but we did. Okay, thank you. We just got it right there at 09. So that was a good fill for us. And then we did get a nice fill as well on Intel. So yeah, the money is now coming in here as we get ready to close out the show. Still a half hour left. Let's see if this market can rally. If your boy learned anything, trade the strong names. And I keep saying that over and over and over again, and I don't do it. But right now we are on this one with Intel. Big trade for me on Intel. It might actually turn out to be the #1 stock for me today, and we just put this on in the last hour. So some nice little back and forth trades here with Mr. INTC.
And I just saw someone say that DWAC is breaking out. Okay, maybe it took out the high of the day, but not the move I was looking for. I mean, if it's going to break out, I'm kind of thinking go more than like 15 or 20 cents. So I still look at 16, but we're running out of time to be fading tops. If it's not going to make a strong move, there's not going to be an opportunity to make much of a trade for myself. If it does fail here, maybe I look at shorting off of the high of the day because it hasn't taken out 1550. But until I see a bigger move, I'll get away from that. I just reloaded in block. So giving it to this, it's kind of a double top in the afternoon. You can see it there at 67.60. I've been shorting 50s. I just grabbed it in 47s. So if it comes back down in, wants to give us that same range, we'll go ahead and take it. I'm just double checking. Oh, of course, yeah, Netflix got to the high of the day. So if you held on to it, congrats to you. I did not. I took it out when it hit that buck. Apple is now at 166. So how's about a 166 break on Apple? At this point, probably a scalp trade for the first portion of it, probably at least half of the trade. At this time of day, I'm always thinking scalp because there's not as much room. Sorry, not room. There's not as much time for it to continue to rally, but it's a decent amount of size on the offer. I could see this giving you that quick in and out, and then we can reassess from there. Like if it wants to continue, it was a small buy imbalance, but given the fact that we're still down on the day, it might not take much. Market goes green, Apple at a pretty big level. I'll go for the break, take half out on the first move, and then look to see how far we can hold it. But within 15 minutes, it needs to break. I'm not taking a breakout at the high at 350 on the imbalances. So Apple's going to have to make that break sooner rather than later, which is probably pretty obvious.
Yeah, so the market's coming back down in. It's a good thing we did get some out there, at those levels on Intel, Meta as well. Good out for us. We'll see if it goes any higher. We just got as high as 213.31 right there as the high for Meta, which did put us in the money 80 damn cents. So we'll say wake up to that one, and I'm going to have to put an offer there one more time. Because if it comes out, like Neil said there, I don't really want to fight some of these imbalances. Even though it's a buy-side imbalance, we'll take another piece out if it comes out. I mean, Meta was a good long. We talked about why we liked it there. Some buy-side support at 212. Plus, we resisted the dump when the market wasn't doing much, so that when the market took off, There goes Meta up 0.5%. Was always stronger than the market to begin with. XOM Chevron.
Look at Tesla.
Barcoding, or what's it doing?
It's still barcoding, but it's now making a run at 195. This is it. It just hit 195, so 194.90, but it's finally making a bit of a move here. So actually the 95 break doesn't look that bad. I know I have an order for, yeah, Apple might break at the same time as Tesla, and I already have my order for Apple, which is a stronger stock. One stock is up 0.6, the other one's down 6%, so I'll stick with Apple, but Tesla about to break 195, which means all of you that check that, all of you that bet on a close of 195 above have some life on that bet.
Yeah, I voted for above, so we'll see if we can get that going as well. Okay, I mean, I only voted above because I saw the momentum in this market, but, you know, again, it could easily fall back down. I don't think there's any sort of reason for any of this right now, but it's a nice move upside. We could take a little bit of a longer look at the NASDAQ right now. I mean, I'm still in these positions, and I'm pretty happy with it and where we are right now. So, I mean, this is 13,300 right there for the NASDAQ. It's a nice dump down there to 13,167. The 50 period being represented. This is only a 30-minute chart, so it's not... You know, although I feel like normally the green is my 200, I think that almost looks like it's VWAP. It almost looks like this is the 200 period, but this is definitely the 50, and it's a nice bounce spot there at 31.1. So we talked about this 31.1 right there. So I feel like we want to be long the market until we're below there, especially the fact that we held this 13.150. So, you know, that's a good little level right there. Let's see if it can work out on the long. So 13,150, 13,150 would be a level there on the NASDAQ that I'm looking at to sort of switch my bias. So I think tomorrow, even though, you know, it's going to be, could be a red day on the NASDAQ, 20 minutes to go, still down 0.3. I feel like, you know, with this momentum coming through today, it's pretty obvious that we're going to close at a nice spot regardless of what eventually that number is. As long as we sort of hang around here and don't break below this 50 period, I really, really like the sort of excitement that the NASDAQ's had here in the second half of the day. So for me, I still remain bullish heading into tomorrow. And you can change the next 20 minutes, but I think we're doing pretty good here.
I just remember we're rallying, you know, we rallied off that PCE on Friday too, well, last week as well. So it has been a general uptrend. Like you look at what the NASDAQ is doing, it's just trying to get back to those highs. But the fact that it's giving you a consolidation day, if you end on strength in a consolidation day, that's always pretty much a good sign. I just saw something in the chat, and again, I'm not here to give anybody financial advice. We just always talk about the trades and what sets up. But I will say this, because every now and then it comes up when someone asks about swinging one of these like runners, like a GFAI. If you are swinging a stock like this, long or short, please ensure that you have access to the pre-market, because if you can't trade in the pre-market and you swing something like this, you just never know when that's going to be your best opportunity. And you look at the moves that this is making, let's say you're swinging a short, it could gap down and then squeeze at the open. Like it could open up at 15 if you were swinging a short, which I think is pretty risky. It could gap down, be like 15, 16, and then by the time you get to the open, it's breaking back out, and you've lost all of your opportunity to get in and out of it for any kind of a profit. These are dangerous names to trade for a reason. Low floaters, if it's only got like $1 million on float, then just understand that your level of risk is not what you normally think. It's not Apple where you're always going to be able to get in and out wherever you want to. These kind of stocks do not always provide that, especially pre-market. So tread lightly. If you feel like you want to go for the short, good luck with you. That 18 ended up holding, by the way, and it broke back out. So the 18 long, pretty good if you decide to take it. I was looking for a flat bottom break, which clearly did not happen, but it was still a pretty good level. Still looking for that reload. Oh, I got the reload. Still looking for the rollover here on block, and I probably have to get out of Sun, S-O-U-N. I don't know why I call it Sun. Doesn't even make any sense.
S-O-U-N?
No, it's bouncing off 305. So yeah, it's bouncing off 305. SoundHound keeps on. It's a strong stock today, and the trend has been up. It made the nice lower high to give you the short entry, just not much of a follow through. You can see that here. Not a ton of follow through. I don't think we're going to see anything resembling underneath 3. So I'll just put a bid down here. If we can get 305s, we'll be pretty happy with that. So let's see what happens with SOUN. Hector, I haven't really looked at First Solar since the morning, but I wanted to just check back in on DWAC because I might be canceling. Oh, it is going. It waits till 340 to now make a move. It's getting close to 16. I might take one shot at this. If we are running out of time here with only 20 minutes left to go, I did like that 16 level. It is getting pretty darn close. Now DWAC is moving. You can say DWAC is moving now. That 15-cent break, that wasn't a heck of a lot, but now it's gone like 50 pennies.
All right, yeah, so Intel, we averaged back in. We just took a piece out. We're going to see if it, if it hit break 77, we're going to get out of Intel right now. And again, remember, comes in, we average into it. We've been taking some out on Intel. Let's see if it does want to break the lows here. And then just like I was saying about Intel, we're not going to turn a winning stock into a losing stock. Wow, okay. Yeah, now Meta's going to break right now as well. Nice move down. Okay, now Intel broke 78, so we're out of that. We actually get a good fill on that one. 78's out. 79's in, 78's out right there, the last second. But right there, just looking at this breaking 50s, Meta just, I don't know, it was just like at 75. It just went all the way down and almost broke there. So a breakthrough 50, we'll get out of Meta. You know what, I was just talking about the markets, getting upside, and now it just prints a little lower, and we might test for the first time in an hour or so this 50 period again. So watch out for that coming back in. Maybe it's time to look for some weaker names in this market to reverse into a short, but I wouldn't be too worried about it. Still 0.45. If that number does change at some point for the imbalances, we'll give it to you. But yeah, so one position left right now. We got flushed on Intel. We can go back to it. There it is. So in and out right there. So our last little take was at 81. But again, some nice moves up there, making 10 cents, making 5 cents, losing 2 or 3. So we're pretty good on this trade here for Intel. Yeah, maybe the market just wanted to bounce there, which is good. That's good for our Meta. Maybe a possible reload we could have did there. So that could have been something. I still don't feel like we're low enough for that reload yet. So nice trade on Meta. Nice hold on Meta. Let's see now if it can hold into the close. It doesn't look like we're in too much danger, but there goes Intel. Now back to 81. So we're out at 78. Not going to look good for right now.
Oh, I might not get it. This was DWAC just went to 16 on a dime. I just tried picking up 96s. I just tried picking up 95s. Could try to get 90s. Couldn't get any of those on the way back. I'm not going to chase the move. Forget about it. I'll get to it in a second. I just got some out on Square. I have another bid here at 62.70. So this could be it. I've canceled my Apple breakout because we're starting to get a little bit late in the day. But DWAC goes right to 16. And I might, we'll see if I get it the second time through. How many times do I have to hit enter? So it gets right to 16. I was offering 96s. I tried to follow to 90s as well. I don't need 2 orders there. We'll see if we can still get it off that 16 level. It was a clean break through the high of the day. You could have had the long break. I just always like fading DWAC when it makes a move up. And the volume was okay, not great. That's another sign that usually you're looking for that short trade when the volume on a breakout isn't gigantic. But if it doesn't fill soon, we have to walk away from this one altogether. Kind of knew it had a chance to get to a level and reject it. It's not a complete rejection. Only went 30 cents to the downside. Could easily retrace 50 to a buck. Clearly the news, I mean, whether you like it or not, I mean, the recent news, of course, with the indictment is the reason this has been going up, just getting any kind of attention. But this is the first day that it's had pretty decent volume, so could still be in play tomorrow. But if I can't get this filled soon, it's going to be a little frustrating. As I said, I canceled that Apple order, and Tesla still won't break 195. I wonder if it's not worth just shorting like 80s or 90s on that Tesla. It's ridiculous. I was sitting there thinking it's about to break. Tesla's going to go. It goes. It goes right to 95 and then just pulls back like 70 pennies. Like it's like a free scalp trade. The same thing happened on Apple right at the evens as well.
Guys, thanks Steve G, man. 700 likes. Like, yeah, that's not. What just happened there? That's not going to work out good for us on that one. Let me pull this forward to show you guys here. 700 likes. Let's get that like and subscribe, and let's get going a little bit on all that. If you can, guys, that'd be thankful for us if you can get that going. So again, up to 1,000 would be nice. Over 4,500 watching. We do have a new position right now. So if you're like, okay, I'm not going to hit the like button until there's a new position. Well, now you got to do it because we have Cat.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
What sirens? All right, thanks for that, man. Thanks, Rod, for that. So we just hit the siren right there because we do have a new position alert, and it is on Amazon as we continue to go long. Not continue, but look what just happened to Amazon right here. It's just taking out this level. We were short it. We were wrong it today. It's not been a top stock of mine. So if you're think that this guy's crazy for going long on Amazon, you're not far from being wrong on that one. So we're going to wait to see. We have a great trade happening, though, take a piece out on Amazon, man. Got to do that. Hopefully it can fly up even higher, and we'll hold off on that. So there it is, coming up to 50. We take a piece out. Now we'll see if it can go, and we are waiting for Meta. I mean, I was waiting for Meta up here at... that sucks, man. Intel, come on, man. There it is right there at 25. Spin it. So we'll spin that one for you. That's 70 cents now in the money for Meta. But it's Amazon that's really working, man, making back some cash right now on AMZN. But we got to get out, right? I actually said this to Fahad on the midday show. It's never a profitable trade until you can feel the cash in your pocket, or in our example here, in your account. So in the blotter. So I can't feel it, but I can see it going in there, and I trust that we'll get paid. So so far so good there. We've taken out some Amazon. My biggest position of the day on this name as it breaks higher right now. DWAC, Trump landing apparently I'm seeing right now, and we'll see what happens as is this when he gets I don't know. Is this a cuffing situation or what?
I don't know.
I don't really know the situation there with President Trump, but there's going to be some more news on him in the next couple of days.
You can't perp walk a president. I guess you could. I don't know, man.
I don't know what they're going to do.
I'm going to stay away from it, but if you got the short. I paid for the low case, but you can see up there 16, there's your reverse, right back into 15, 30. Sometimes you're going to put the offers out there, you're passive, you don't get that fill. That's just going to happen to you sometimes. But it was a good level. We waited for it to break, knew this is one we wanted to take a shot on. I reloaded for a third time this afternoon on Square, and it finally took out the high. So we got a couple of legs off this one. The third one does not win. You go back to that well. Eventually, sometimes the level is just going to break on you. So it's pretty much just been the shorts. I mean, I had Netflix long, but it's essentially looking for those shorts, two of which worked out. SOUN is now back at 20s. I'm just getting out if it breaks 320. We got the imbalances coming in about 3 minutes or so.
Oh, God, I forgot about those.
Yeah, so in about 3 minutes, it is I don't think it's any change. Still a small buy and balance of 400 million to buy. If you have a quick look at some of the bigger names out there, they're just barcoding. I mean, Apple right at 166. I canceled my breakout because I didn't want to take the breakout into the number. And then you looked at Tesla. My goodness, that could just be a trap to end all trap. 194. 89, 90. I mean, it's just been sitting here at 195. Kind of wishing that one would have broken out there, even though I bet to the south side. Would have been more interesting if Tesla had taken this going into the imbalance. So I just have SOUN. Congrats if you happen to have DWAC. I hope it goes again tomorrow so I can short 17 or 20.
Okay, man, I don't like that imbalance talk there because everything can switch up, man, very, very fast. So we just got out of a little bit of Amazon there, but I don't know. I was going to buy some more. So our best out there, 53s. We just got it right there on Amazon. We're really light on Meta now. We got that 25 fill, although it's still 70 cents in the money. It's just, we're getting like 25, 50. 20% every time, 20, 40, 60, 80 on that one. So now we're getting ready to get out. Remember, if it breaks lower, we'll get out on Meta and not worry too much about it. It's more this position that I'm worried about. This was a large one, and we'll just, we're already out of 40% of it, only for like about that 10 cents or so, which is not great. But again, just trying to top off the day here, adding some profitable trades at the end. But yeah, oh man, 102.20 is where I'm going to have to get out if this continues to make that move down. So I have a mark for that. Thing is that you never really want to be in anything into the imbalances. So yeah, it's a little scary here trying to think about holding something against those. So that's coming out in 1 minute. And these are what the imbalances look like right now. They're not going to look like anything because these are all from earlier on. But when they do come out, come on, Amazon. Oops, I don't want to do anything with the time. You can see right here, box D must have halted, but everything else is from 9:30. So we're just going to fix this. And I just wish I kind of did forget about that, and now, unfortunately, Amazon's too low. So we'll wait to see here what's going to happen. We're right back to where we're in on Amazon, so I'm not going to get out. But right now, we'll wait to see in just 20 seconds. All of these will update. Damn you, Amazon.
And remember, the other thing, too, is NASDAQ and the ES are both at the high of the day. Like, basically, pretty much tapping within 5 handles of the high on each. I'll get the balances up. I got that 195 on Tesla. Just on the off chance it comes out of buy and balance, I might look to take a breakout on this one. But 5 seconds to go. We'll bring it to you live because that's what we do around here. Bring everything to you live that we can in the markets. So you'll see this update. Not really seeing anything big just yet. Uber, 1 million to buy. That's the first one that just popped up. Alphabet, 650,000. Not very big at all. Tesla actually goes down, so no trade that I can see there. Tesla, sell imbalance of 460,000 on Tesla. I'm not seeing any Apple. Not seeing any Amazon either. PayPal, the small sell, 400,000. It looks like the overall is 500 million to buy. I'm not even sure where that's coming from. Not a heck of a lot unless you're interested in AMBP, which is a $4 stock. So that imbalance is not likely to move it all that much. Yeah, Uber, I would say, is the only one that looked remotely interesting. And that 1 million buy imbalance did exactly this to the stock. It moved 8 cents. So not a heck of a lot going even in Uber. Yeah, not a big move there for Uber. Flat on the day, but yeah, not too much with the imbalances there. But you have a look just in case. Looks like that 195 level on Tesla was a pretty good short after all.
Yeah, for sure. As the market, the NASDAQ will not. I was going to say would not want to get positive, but we could still get there. I'm hoping we do because we're still long. Yeah, it's nothing. This is a 1 minute candle in the NASDAQ if we can get it. So let's wait to see. There it is, the NASDAQ. Let's move it over so you can see it a little bit better. Still down 0.28, and we're just capturing some more profit here on Amazon to end the day with a very nice long. And I mean, I'm hoping that it can continue. We can't control this market. If it can go up, Brendan brought in 500 million to buy, so we're just going to continue to look on there. I don't know, AMBP, I mean, $4 name. I don't know, maybe it's being bought out. I don't know, $5 right now, $4, but 5 million shares. So that's something. Neil already talked about Uber.
There's nothing really there.
Google as a buy, maybe helping the market. Siri, nothing there. Tesla, Neil said that was a sell. So wow. Does it automatically calculate like this Streamlabs? We have to put in yes or no, right? So this is going to be really close, man, to see what this print is here at 4 o'clock.
Well, I think we have to manually say what it was. Like I think we have to put in
we have to put in what it is, and then it'll figure out the win.
It's crazy. It's so tight.
Money. No, I mean I didn't mean to do that on your face. I just thought it was still on me. But we had Amazon right there, so we just took another Amazon fill there. Whether or not it's a money fill or not, seems like it. It's the highest it's been at all day. And we're long, not all day, I mean, just in the afternoon. It's a nice move up. We just got a 52. I didn't think we'd see that. So let's just continue to get some more out here on Amazon as it's still 500 million to buy. So Biden is now speaking a note from Brendo in Minnesota about economic policy. So
go Gophers?
I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. Definitely not Skol Vikings, that's for sure. But or Minnesota Twins. Actually, I always liked the Minnesota Twins.
You know why I like the Gophers? Well, 2 reasons. One, they're in the Big Ten. But remember that show Coach?
Of course, I love Coach. That's a great show.
Yeah, because that's what he was the coach of the Minnesota Gophers. Wasn't he?
Well, if you remember that to be correct.
TV show, you guys tell me, in the TV show Coach, was he not the coach of the Minnesota Golden Gophers? If I'm wrong about that, then I should have no reason for even remotely liking that team. It's an old show. If you've never seen it, it's pretty cool. We were talking about like coaching and mentoring on Friday a little bit and how it's important to have a good one. So I love that show. Watching GFAI here at the close, it looks like it's going to hold up at that 18. If you're not watching some of these higher flying AI type names, this is one which is going to potentially, I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like it could hold that split price of $19, that split high. That sets it up tomorrow for an over-under play. Under, shorter.
Is that high?
Over is still a breakout up there, so big-time mover on GFAI. Excuse me. I was trying to hold that one.
Coin is at 63.
No, it's not.
Oh, sorry? 0.81. Oh, Fahad short Coinbase right now at 81. He said at 81, and I was like, 81, but it's no. He went short here. We'll go to Coinbase right now. 63.81. He's short. So anyways, nice move down for Coinbase. And we can look at this today because it's down 6%. So I like that, man. I like trading short names that are down. I mean, sometimes it's not rocket science here, but there's Coinbase, a huge dump off there. Did Dogecoin retrace? No, Dogecoin's been pretty recent. So that's a nice little move down there. Don't know what that's about, but we'll have to look tomorrow. If this is ever back into the high 60s again, I don't know, man. I have little faith with Coinbase, but yeah, nice move to the downside right now for Coinbase. And for me, though, honestly, I'm still in the same name as we go here. I'm only in I've got Meta long. It's only 20% position. I may just get out of this. Let's just see what happens here at 355. Normally, you'll get a little bit of reversal, which would not be great in this case because it was already a buy. Let's go over to Amazon and have a look because it was already a buy for this market. So if the market turns around at 55, probably turns around south house side. Yeah, so now you're getting a little bit of a move down, but the market's saying, okay, nothing. So all right, so it doesn't look like these imbalances are going to be much of anything here today. If anything, I'd hope that Amazon can rip into the close. It's not really looking like it wants to do much, so I guess we just got to get some of this out. We're long at 41s. Like, come on. Next time this gets into the 50s, I guess we got to empty out our clip because it's not doing a whole hell of a lot. And now there it is right now, so we'll get some more out.
And congratulations to all of you Tesla fans who bet over 195. It just got above 195, so that's where the money line sits. It's still 4 minutes to go, so I suppose I could be jinxing it. And if I'm jinxing it, then I'm jinxing it because I bet the under. So I want my points. I'm not going to get them at this point, but the market is closing, breaking out the highs. I don't have anything on. I canceled the Apple break. Just felt like it was a little bit late in the day. It would have worked for about 15 pennies or so. So, you know, you could definitely put that in your pocket if you wanted that 66 break. That's about all it was able to give you here on Apple. I'm done for the day. I got out of SOUN. It was a good short, but even another small cap name holding higher lows. Go watch for this one tomorrow as well. 2 days in a row, it's going to close kind of, not barcoding, but giving you a bull flag off the highs. Couple of days in a row now, so Friday and today doing the same thing. 350 big levels, 5 monster level on 5 if this were to get there. I didn't really think about shorting this till the end of the day. I think about shorting it at $5 regardless of time of day tomorrow, as you can see here on the daily. So that's SOUN. Was good, but I think tomorrow is going to be the 3rd day in a row that we should be watching this one as day traders.
All right, so we are in the money right now on Meta, nice 90 cents, still breaking out through the highs again of the day. This one's the high of the day, and I confused it with Amazon last time, but that is a nice high of the day for Meta off of a nice little reload right there. So Meta is going to be a nice positive stock for me. It's going to be my #1 stock. It was Intel until Intel dumped. Well, where's Intel at right now? Oh, yeah, of course, 90 again, so we got out at the bottom. Nice little move up there, but we could have just reloaded it again, so I don't feel so bad about that. But there's Intel. That sucks, man. We were cruising forward, and then Intel basically took everything away right there, and there it is. Nice move back up to the upside. So it looks like Meta will be my #1 stock of the day right now. Yeah, it's only 357 now. So right there, Meta coming in, 213.40. Nice level. Let's just hold it. Why not? There goes Amazon right now to the upside as that's continuing to go. Yes, sir, 55, 56, 57. It's a nice move now for Amazon, finally giving us some life here as we were pretty long there, pretty good price, and a pretty good amount of shares as well. We would have liked to get a little more, but with not enough time left in the day, we're going to get out of Amazon right here, 52, 53. We'll offer that and see if we can get more. And that's about that, man. We'll wrap this up. It's 3:58 with only 2 minutes to go. Thank you for all the kind words. I sure as hell hope we're above 1,000 likes. If you haven't hit it yet, please do that. It was a good show today, man. I thought the morning show was great. The afternoon,
new blood in the midday.
New blood in the midday, and we'll just go from there, guys. So far, so good here, and yeah, hopefully Amazon can get back into the 60s.
Yes, sir. Market is trying to go. I mean, hey, there's still 2 minutes for it to get green. You know, it never changed from the bear, from the bull to the bear, regardless of what happens. So sometimes that's a bit of a sign. Closing on the high is pretty bullish. I don't really care sometimes with that percentage. It's about the momentum that you're seeing, and it is a strong one in here today. It's been good. Let's see if Tesla closes above or under that 195 on the poll. I am in the corner of my eye watching that GFAI just in case it makes one of those crazy power moves. If it holds above 19, that's going to be a strong sign, but it's showing some signs of fading off of that 20 level over and over. My goodness, Tesla is right at 95 with 1 minute to go. Oh, and there's an iceberg order. Of course there is. Of course there's an iceberg order on Tesla at 195. It just broke just now. I tried to quickly go there. Someone reloaded 3 times at 95, and then it just got taken out. So the battle is real on this one. It's not even Friday. And a 95 level, just gravity towards it pretty much the entire afternoon. Yeah, well, I'm not going to gloat or anything, but I did bet on the under.
I mean, you bet on the under when it was at, what, 193 or something?
No, it was 94. No, it was 94.20, I think, when I made the bet. It was definitely, I mean, come on. But everyone else was betting the over, so.
Yeah.
If it's in the money and everyone else is betting the other way, of course that's a bet I'm going to take. You get better odds, and you're already in the money.
And it looks like it's going to work. It's at 194.80 right now with only 30 seconds to go as we get going here. So we're just cleaning out of our Amazon, man. We might as well just get out of our Meta right now. It doesn't look like there's much happening there. So we're out of Meta right there at 16. And Amazon, it's a little choppy right here with only 10 seconds left. We might as well get out. We're flat now on Amazon. We'll put a 41. Now we're out of Amazon. Good trade for me on that one.
3, 2, and proudly ring it.
So 194.77, I guess.
It's under. Congrats to the under. Tesla closes. That doesn't matter. It's like 70 something.
People are asking for what their bets were. Yeah, 194.77 it looks like there for Tesla. We got out of our Amazon. So far so good on that one. And lower. Lower. Yeah, Blue Jays are in KC. Good one there.
If
yeah,
we can't beat the Kansas City Royals, then I don't know, man.
What do you mean if we can't? I don't know, man. They did not look good this weekend, dude. Hopefully they can look a little bit better moving forward. And all right, let's go. Brendo, how do we wind up? What a great run there at the end.
Yeah, almost got there. Ever so slightly going to be short, but for the NASDAQ anyways. 0.22 here, downside for the NASDAQ. But, I mean, considering where it was at one point, that's not bad at all. 1 full percent for the Dow. S&P goes green and then some, 0.4 when all is said and done. Here in Toronto, 1% as well. Back upside for the TSX, 6.2% is the way we finish for crude oil today, guys.
Down 5%. And Tesla didn't have a very good day, closing beneath that 195, but it was not the worst stock on my quote board. There were two that were worse, Bed Bath & Beyond and NIO. NIO did not have a good day at all either. So, there was some weakness in the market out there, and especially in the EVs. The Chinese EV names and Tesla kind of had it handed to them. But energy,
yes.
Energy strong.
Wow, good day for energy there. I did not buy any more or sell any more of XLE, but I do like that trade for sure. No earnings or anything, I don't think, of note.
Very boring week. Very boring week.
And a light week. We go into Thursday night, end of the week.
Yep.
And then we get that big number on Friday and no market open. So we'll see what happens with Dogecoin tomorrow. that should be exciting for sure. But let's just thank everybody. Yeah, congratulations for everybody that has Dogecoin. We'll see where it goes tomorrow. But for everybody here at Trader TV Live, big thanks to everybody. Mahad, Fahad, Brad, Brendan, the midday guys.
Shout out to Ty.
Shout out to Ty. Shout out to Max and Fahad. And Obi. Oh my God, we had so many different looks there today as we figure it all out. So, hey, there he is in the background. Yeah, shout out to Obi again. But yeah, tomorrow's a new day. We're back at 8:30, so make sure you do your research tonight. We'll find some oil names. We'll find Tesla. We might have the same bet tomorrow, man.
Why not?
Under 195, we'll see where it opens up at. But all right, it's 4:03. We got places to go and they ain't here. So we'll check you tomorrow at 8:30. Everybody at Trader TV Live, see ya.